What's up, man?
Fucking A!
We're live, bro, from
Fucking A!
right here in Virginia. So, everyone, thank you for watching. This is the Liberty Risk Podcast. I'm Billy.
And I'm Hugh, and this podcast couldn't come at a more perfect time because I was looking for a reason to validate my alcohol consumption. So this was perfect.
So, what's going on, Greg?
Not much. Just a great little podcast, I guess, and trying to get people in here.
That's
So,
great,
don't
man.
worry about all that fancy shit we have over here. That's
Right. I don't see any fancy shit.
Yeah, I don't see any fancy shit either. But so, you're the front of the house manager.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everyone what that entails? Because they're only seeing a little section of this right now. This is the section that's closed off because of the social distancing and stuff like that.
Right.
And
This is our cigar lounge. We have Emerson sell cigars. They're opening back up on June 7th.
oh, nice. Okay,
To start
great.
selling cigars in here again. We do have cigars out in the tap room as well. So they will. They're available out there. I think you guys.
So beer and cigars,
yeah,
it doesn't get
yeah.
any better than that. You guys have live music here too, like
Have live music.
consistently, right?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Awesome.
Usually, weather permitting, of course, because it's outdoors.
Is all the music usually outdoors?
No, just now. I mean, we have some of it inside when we can.
But because of the shutdown and whatnot.
Right.
Okay, I got
But it can only be outside right now. And our beer garden is an acre
Holy crap.
big, I guess.
So with the
So-
6-foot distancing, how many people are you technically,
We're allowed half capacity. Our full capacity is like 290, I think. 280.
290 people.
No, our half capacity would be half of that.
So half of it. So what? 145.
That's
a lot of
That's
people
a
to get.
lot of
That's a
people,
lot of people
yeah.
getting here to drink some
That's
good beer and
awesome.
smoke some good cigars.
We would love to see that many in there
Thanks, man.
Um,
Appreciate you.
every night that we're open.
Doing the Lord's
Oh
work
yeah,
there.
and with this, hopefully, we'll try to do everything like we were telling the owner Rick,
Yeah.
try to drive people, especially from the base and fellow veterans that are watching us consistently, to come in here, and it's some of the best beer, if not the best beer in Norfolk.
That's
I have
fantastic.
learned to love almost every one of these beers.
So let me ask you, with Emerson to open back up on the 7th, does that mean the cigar lounge is opening back up? Or just
Not
the
yet. We
cigars?
don't know quite yet what phase 2 is going to
Mhm.
bring. If phase 2 is done by the 7th, at least they'll be able maybe to come in and get the cigar and
And then
leave.
they go smoke outside.
Smoke outside, right?
And that's something that we just, which obviously, me and Hugh have talked about, is put a huge damper on not just the U.S. but the entire planet. So it's
Right.
literally every morning you're getting up and checking the news,
Oh,
seeing
my
if
God.
something's happened.
I'm also checking the weather religiously too,
Yeah,
just to see
because-
if I can have my entertainment outside.
Right.
Oh, so it's like a bad double-edged sword for you.
Right.
So the stress level's got to be.
Well, today you have a food truck out there as well, right?
We have a food truck here today from 12 to 10.
Are they affected by the weather if it starts to rain?
No, I don't think he is because he's enclosed there.
Most of
I
the
mean, he's
stuff-
infected with
What's
how
up,
much he
Chris?
sells because people don't show up much if it's raining.
So just so you know, we got our viewers. We always put the comments right up on the screen so that everyone could see it.
Good.
So Chris, a good friend of mine from Long Island, says cigars. Who said
Yeah,
cigars?
yeah.
So Chris, you got to take a trip down here, bro. So it's a good reason to visit and come
Sorry.
in here.
Emerson Cigars out of Maker's Craft Brewery in Norfolk, Virginia.
No
Right.
fuck Virginia.
So, Greg, you were in the Navy, right?
Correct.
What'd you do?
I was a corpsman,
Oh, all right, Doc.
Nice.
X-ray tech.
X-ray,
More
still
specific.
Doc.
Oh,
Still Doc.
yeah, fucking A.
Still it is. I never did anything exciting like go to war.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a
No,
corpsman
man.
or a CS, nobody pisses
X-ray
on you.
techs in my book are great because they told me when I was all fucked up. I was a master at arms, but
Oh,
I was
yeah?
the combat side of it. So it was for half of my career, and then he's a
See the
CB.
swing a fucking hammer.
yeah.
My dad was a CB.
No, get the fuck out of
He
here.
was a long time ago.
What did you do? Do you know?
He
Like,
CB'd.
Oh, he's CB. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
We built shit.
You
We
know
built
what-
shit, and then when people
He
looked at us,
built
we
shit.
shot at them.
He built shit. So I had to take pictures to my mom.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man.
Damn
The only people who
CBs.
know what we actually do are us. Every other person is like, what do you mean? What do they do?
I
They're
know
a
it's
CB.
construction battalion, so you build shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's like the extent
That's
of it.
It's
Like,
crazy, though,
Dude, the
like-
Army and the Marines, they're always like, I need this done. Like, oh, that's a welding job? I'm a carpenter. No, it says CB on your chest. I'm gonna need you to make that shit happen. I'm like,
Okay, cool.
I mean,
We'll try to put this together.
you're looking for quantity, not quality, right? you're gonna paint that, right?
So Greg, tell me, how long has Maker's been open?
Opened, I think, March 9th last year, 2019.
So it's been a very short time. So you're still
It's been a year.
nice.
We're still, we're just getting really good, and then this all happened. So
How long have you guys been open back up since the virus? You shut down, right?
Yeah. Well, we were available for curbside pickup and delivery. We offer delivery.
Okay.
We still offer delivery and curbside pickup, but
Either
we're
either
open.
way, but that's more prevalent now since the whole
Right. And we're-
COVID-19.
We're open 19. I mean, we're open only outside right now. So, I mean, they can come and get the
But
beer.
that's
and then I go
145
outside.
people that go, and you have umbrellas and coverings or something out there.
We have about 12 tables, and I think close to 30 to 40. Well, 30 to 40 Adirondack chairs.
Nice.
Maybe more. The tables all have umbrellas, so we can roll up umbrellas, and
Nice.
it's sunny out there because we don't have a lot of shade.
Yeah, this
trees.
humidity came and hit the area.
Yeah,
Oh,
that tropical
no
depression was
Wilfred
a
guys
bitch.
like love to sweat it out, man. Love to sweat it
Yes.
out. So, but
Yeah, I hate the sweat.
oh, I can't. I was telling you, it's funny because my daughters always laugh at me because I'm always, as you can see here, I bought 2 of your T-shirts because I'm sweating through them already, which just keep giving you guys money.
But they look so good on you,
No, I
Billy.
When
appreciate
are you going to cut into a crop top, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna. I should go back to the '80s, the mesh.
Totally should. Yeah. Let it
I
hang
don't
out.
know.
Let it hang out, brother.
I don't know. Either that or put on
Let it-
some rollerblades.
let it hang
We
out.
had some people in here with rollerblades before, so and I said I haven't seen those since '97. So I'm gonna bring back the '80s crop
80s
top
crop
mesh
top.
shirt,
And you're gonna
with the
roll
'90s rollerblades, and then I'm gonna do the 2000 hip hop hat, and then
Oh,
just
you
generation.
yeah.
It'll be
You
good.
got it.
It'll
Just
be
the
good.
whole 10-year window
Yeah,
where
just-
fashion was a travesty, but also completely
Show you why I didn't have friends
completely-
growing up.
acceptable at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be great. It'll be a good thing. I don't know how many people enjoy seeing that with all of this love that I
Well,
can
back
see.
then, nobody
And
fucking
there's so
cared.
much blood to show, right?
So you said you just got here doing this, but what were you doing before for the brewery?
I'm also a real estate agent.
Oh, there you go. Hey, if anyone wants to buy a house, there's your man right there.
Yep.
Just message the page. We'll get him everything you need.
There you
so
go.
you want to sell your house, just do it anyway, just so he can make a little money.
How'd you make that transition from real estate to front of house manager to brewery?
Wow. I started doing some on the side graphic work for Felicia.
Okay.
She's,
Oh, that's cool.
she's the owner's wife.
Yeah.
And making banners and posters for advertising and whatnot. And she liked a lot of my ideas I had. Bounced some ideas off of her about things in the brewery.
It just grew from there.
So
an
I expressed
unintentional
an interest
promotion.
unintentional. Well, it was
Unexpected.
kind of a side job. I wasn't an employee of the brewery
Yeah.
until I
So a
became front of
contract
house.
kind of
So
work.
yeah,
That's pretty cool. How long you been a real estate agent?
almost 4 years.
Okay.
I started in South Carolina before I moved over here.
Whole part.
Columbia area,
Oh, okay, nice.
the Midlands.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
my media company took such a huge hit. You know, being a real estate agent, I do real
Yeah.
estate photography,
Yeah.
and it was just when this whole coronavirus hit, it was just like a
Slap in the
huge
face.
wake up
Yeah.
call. And it's really kind of
Yeah.
interesting to see how some of the real estate agents are doing the virtual
The virtual tours.
tours and stuff like that, which is
Yeah.
really cool. Is to see how they quickly transitioned.
Mhm.
Especially some of the agents have been around for such a long time, because real estate, it's a community where once you start doing something, it's kind of, you're in that mode. You just
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah. That's funny to me that they only really bought into it out of necessity, the 3D tours and whatnot, because I've been looking for homes for a long time, and some of them didn't have them.
Right.
And you were only lucky to find one if it was like a mega McMansion or something
Yeah.
like that. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, it's necessary. Like, you tell me 3-4 years ago you didn't think it would be a really good idea, because you can look at 48 photos of a home, but based on how they're uploaded, you don't really know what the layout of that home is.
Right.
Because
No, you really
there's not on a real estate site, the layout is not usually published. But it's funny that they all went to that 3D tour, but at the same time, like, the market really hasn't dipped that much.
No, not at all.
Like,
Actually,
it didn't tank people. It's not necessarily a buyer's market, but it's not exactly a seller's market either.
It's
Is
just a market.
what I mean. It's just a market. The market's like, hey, turns out buying a house, you can do that 6 feet apart. You
Well, it's crazy
email
just the
me
way
your paperwork.
just the way the world's going. You know, places like this that offer so much, you know, to come and just socialize and everything, which people need. To me, people need this right now.
Right.
Is because it was a huge. It happened so fast.
Right.
When it was just like the president was like, we're shutting down. You know, when he finally
Yeah.
made that decision, and then the governors were just like, shut it down, and everyone's learning as they're going along. But I really feel like watching the news the last couple of days, corporate businesses are really taking heed
Yeah.
into the future on
Working from home.
working remote.
Teleworking.
Yeah, teleworking,
Yeah.
which is going to probably be great for you guys to be able to come to a place like this, use the Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
work, have good beer, smoke a cigar,
Yep.
and get your work done at once, that's probably just going to bring your business up.
Sure.
So is that something you
Certainly
guys
so.
have looked into, like something that's in?
I mean, of course, we offer the free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And anybody's welcome here to come work.
That's awesome.
Bring
And
it.
then- Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't.
Bring your laptops and work.
When you guys do curbside pickup and delivery, which
Yeah.
services like that have existed for a while now, but now,
COVID's going to make you guys busy.
well, I think even when the virus comes and goes, right? People are gonna be like, oh, let's go down to I'm feeling a little sick. Let's order 78 beers online and go pick them up, have them put them in the trunk.
They'll bring them to us.
And then we go back to the fucking house and get hammered in our backyard and not have to worry about a ticket or an Uber and going and getting our car the next day. That'd be a pretty big fucking deal.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah,
That would
it'd be
absolutely
really
be great. No, this place is absolutely beautiful. You know what the owners have done, and just just the atmosphere
Yeah.
walking in. Just meeting you for the first time was today.
Yeah.
It's just, I almost feel like I want to move back to Norfolk. I'll be honest. I'm driving through here.
Don't you put that evil in the universe?
I almost
Don't
feel
you
like
put
I
that evil
wanna
on me,
move in
Ricky
here.
Bobby.
Where were you stationed in the Navy? If you don't mind my asking.
Pensacola first.
Okay.
Then
I was in
here.
Mayport, so yeah.
So you've been here
At
before.
Portsmouth Naval, yeah. And then, yeah, that's
You were
pretty
you
much it.
were you worked up at Portsmouth Naval Medical Center.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter, was born there. Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was.
A long time ago?
Not that long ago. Well, 10 years. I guess 10 years is long.
10 years
Yeah,
ago.
when you consider that Everybody Loves Raymond came out in 1996.
I hate you
24
so
years ago.
much.
Yeah, I know, right?
Holy shit.
24 years ago.
I was 14.
Yeah, I was not.
How old were you?
94? Let's see, I was 94. I was in 94.
You're aging beautifully. I don't know what you're doing to yourself.
26?
Oh,
94, I was in the Navy. I was 91 through 97.
That's 6 years because I joined right out of high school, and then I actually got medically retired at 15,
Oh, wow.
which was, and I've said this before, which when it first happened, just mentally took a huge hit because a year prior to me getting force retired, I signed up for my last 6.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
So I was already, and mentally I'm
You were
like,
prepared.
I
Six more years.
fucking did it.
Yeah.
I got this
Yeah, but
20.
you know what?
I was an E6. I went from E1 because I started off as a
Right.
fireman recruit,
Oh,
working down in the bowels of the ship.
Jesus,
doing
you had those
shit.
skills when you joined.
I joined none. I was just like, hi, my name's Billy. I like to write my name in crayon, and I want to do something. Can you let me sign the paperwork?
You know what? though?
They're like, yeah, we'll take your retard. Let's go.
You got out 5 years ago now.
Actually, this September will be 5.
So 5 years.
My 5-year
My
mark.
old man retired in 2007, and you didn't serve in the 2000s, correct?
No.
No, not at
No,
all.
no.
So I remember when my dad, when he made chief, he and my mom had a conversation where basically he was like, "I'm literally doing this the minimum amount of time to collect retirement because I'm fucking done with this environment." So I can only imagine. But you did 5 more years after that.
Yeah, it was hard. Once I became-
Don't Ask, Don't Tell went away in 2011. And
Yeah.
then the transgender conversation was happening right at the end of your time in.
Yeah.
And so, would you really have wanted to do 5 more? Could you?
It wasn't just that. It was being a master in arms. So going from engineering and then just because of when I joined, I literally joined on September 5th of 2000. So it was a year and 6 days before 9/11. And the ship I happened to be on was in the North Arabian Gulf on 9/11. And then what ramped it up even more was I'm originally from New York City.
Mm.
So it was not just a patriotic nationwide thing. It was also, towards New York. That's my home.
Right.
I have
Yeah.
family that lives there, and back then there wasn't the internet like it is now. There was no snail. It was snail
You used,
mail.
you used to call home in an
We still had
AT&T
to-
trailer.
I still had to put my
Like-
emails on a disc and hand them to the IT department. They had to screen them and then send them out through satellite. That's how bad it
You're
was.
old.
I don't know. Fuck you. But yeah, so it was. That was hard because we had no communication with the outside world. We're floating in the middle of the ocean for 3 months. So this quarantine social distance shit, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Why is this so terrible?
But-
All right, everybody just calm the fuck down.
But yeah, watching because you saw these rates. Like my first LPO was an old BT1, an old
Boiler tech?
a
Jesus
crusty
Christ.
old,
No.
just
Salty bastard. I
Fuck-
fucking hated all
fuck
of
you,
you.
you new fireman.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Right.
He's
So you-
my first day. I showed up to the ship in my blues, right?
Dungarees?
No, in my dress blues.
Okay.
So I'm in my dress
Is
blues.
that how
you
you're supposed to show up and make
show-
demands?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
back then you were
You're
supposed to.
cracker jack.
Yeah. So I showed up in my dress blues, And my BT1 happened to be up on the quarter deck when I showed up, and he goes, "You're my guy." And I went, "Oh, mommy, why'd I sign up here for?" I was like, that was a bad
I
decision.
don't want to do this anymore.
My first 2 days in the pit were literally scrubbing the bilge in my dress blues, while BT1 Fairchild stood over the deck plates when he moved them, stood like this, and he's like,
I like the way you do that.
"I love new fireman recruits." He was better makes that shit shine, boy.
Yeah,
I was
so
just
like
like,
you, so you, so you probably got out really because I don't know that you would have liked 5 to 7 more years in.
no, I was done. I was
So
watching.
I've been
I was
in-
watching
I've been
that
in just
horrible
I've
transition.
been in just
Yeah.
a reserve, and even I'm over here like, fuck. You're lucky I put in this much money towards retirement because I'm fucking ready to call it quits. And you were in like a prime time when.
It was safe.
Well, it was safe in a different manner.
Right.
Like you could get away with speaking to people differently. You could get away with conducting yourself differently. My uncle was in the 90s. He was a corpsman as well.
Yeah.
He sold cigarettes that he'd go buy tobacco and then buy the papers. And then when you ran out, he would be like, "Hey, I'll sell you a bundle." And he would like hand roll himself. He had this little clasp thing. You like put the tobacco in the paper and roll, and it would roll it yourself. See, there are a lot of people that don't know what that is. You're like, "Oh, you know, I had one of those." Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So he would sell for like a nickel and make like $4 extra grand a month. Just roll fucking cigarettes. You do that shit now, you're gonna get shut down. You're gonna go to captain's mast, pushing an agenda and whatnot.
Our IT guys, when we were underway, they used to. You could go down and give them like $5 and they'll play whatever movie you wanted on the TV. So I was talking to the IT1 after the point. I said, "IT1, how much money did you make?" He goes, "I was paying my car payment with all your fucking money."
Justin from ODU SBA does. They said the Student Veterans Association does Friday cigars and beer during the semester here.
Oh, nice. There
That's
you go.
fucking tits.
Yeah.
So Justin, we have a really good working relationship with them also. So that
We just announced Thursday.
partnership.
We're going to partner with them. They're going to come on our show and do veteran GI Bill updates and things like
Very
that.
nice.
Yeah, at least once, maybe twice a month.
So we'll try to
uh,
get this place
Justin,
as
what's
busy
up,
as
man?
possible for you.
Good. Yeah.
Keep
fucking
the
5 minutes,
happy to have
maybe.
anybody.
Y'all can
Yeah.
all park the cars at my place. We can
Any
Uber
groups,
together.
parties, we have a 4,000 square foot event warehouse,
Studio,
yeah,
warehouse,
whatever.
location.
Event
facility.
facility, yeah.
Yeah, facility works. Facility
I
works.
couldn't think of the word.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
But it's like I think it's 4,000.
See, the
square feet.
crayons did work.
Weddings.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
we'll have bigger concert probably back there when we have bigger music things.
I forgot
Nice.
about the
Actually,
wedding thing.
my buddy Chris, that's watching right now, the one that was commenting, he actually has a band. So maybe
Oh, nice.
maybe if he ever makes it down this way, we can have him
Absolutely.
swing
Absolutely.
through.
Dude, I forgot about the wedding thing. I came here like January or maybe end of February, and I met this woman whose daughter was getting married here. So they were here checking out the venue,
Mm-hmm.
and they invited me
To the wedding.
to the wedding. They're like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "I don't know anybody." And she's like, "Well, I'm the mother of the bride, so you can come if you want to."
Now you know me.
So I put it into my calendar, right? And then I had forgotten about it. It popped up in like April, I think is when it was supposed to be. It was like, "Oh, don't forget about this wedding next week." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh
I think it
shit,
was
that's
canceled.
hard canceled." Yeah, it definitely did not happen. And I was like, "Oh fuck, I was really looking forward to that." Like I was gonna go pick up a hot bridesmaid or something, and that would have been the tits.
Oh my god.
Well, it's not like I had to supply alcohol; it was already here, so
Right.
Yeah, that's
it would
true.
have been good to go.
Yeah, with the Student Veterans Organization, we just like Hugh said, we just partnered with them Thursday. So that's awesome that they do the events here. And Justin, I'll make sure he comes in and introduces
Yeah,
himself to
sure.
you. He's a really good,
Yeah,
really
Justin,
good
very
guy.
nice.
And
He's solid dude.
what's good
He was
with
a submariner. He's not all there, but he's alright.
I don't know how the fuck you stay in a big black tube.
You can ask my dad. He did it for like 15 years. Yeah.
No, I couldn't
But
do
I
it.
think the only reason that we moved to Italy is because my mom was like, "We're leaving Bremerton or divorcing." And he
least
was
it
like,
wasn't Kings
he was
Bay,
like, "Cool,
Georgia."
wrap it up, get out of here."
Because the gate guards only have one tooth. I'll check your ID. Welcome to King
I'll
Bay,
take your ID
Georgia.
left and right, man. There. That's how the hill people sound.
So Corman, how long did you say you were in again?
6.5.
6.5 years. So Corman, oh god, when I was stationed at in Groton at the clinic, I was the chief master at arms
Mm-hmm.
at the clinic,
Oh,
and
I get it. You're a big deal.
it was literally one of the hardest mentally from not losing my shit because it was just Corman,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Hey, MA1," and I'm just like, keep giving me that tone, you fuck, and your car. You're gonna watch a car go by on a fucking tow truck, piece of shit. I know I'm the only one here. I know I have no one to back me up. Stop harassing me.
This is after 2005. This is safe space here.
This isn't nice. I don't like it.
This is Connecticut.
I want my crayons back. But it was really funny because I had this HM1 who used to fuck with me all the time. He's like, keep talking shit to me and I'll erase your medical record. And I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Right? That's so fucked up because we tell people too, like, yeah, like, you need to keep copies of everything, of
Yeah,
everything.
all the
And then
time.
you're like, oh, I'll just go to medical and get it. And the medical's like, what do you mean you want to check your record out for?
You don't have
What do you-
one.
Oh, like, it's my record. Like, no, it's the government's record. Oh, shit.
There was actually a
They came
girl.
hard.
There was actually a girl on Navy Times. Actually, she was stationed right here in Norfolk. Her first 4 years, she went to re-enlist electronically,
Nothing.
lost her entire record. So it was almost like she served 4 years.
For free.
Well, she was getting
For service
paid,
record.
but her service
There's
record
no validation.
was gone.
Oh, my God.
So they had to dig deep into. I guess everything gets backed up on a big,
Wow.
huge, big Navy server.
Oh,
But
I'm sure.
I would be.
Microfiche.
With the old perforated print-up paper, where you go, with the
Oh, that'd be fucking
with the holes on it.
Tear it off after it's done.
Oh, that'd be fucking terrible.
So you guys have a food truck here today, right? That's coming in.
Yeah, we've got it's here already. Till 9, I think.
Oh, wow.
Or 8 till 8.
Okay.
It's
so we can eat after we're done.
burrito.
Oh, it's gonna be. Delicious.
I don't know what it is with white people and Mexican food, but that shit is the bomb.
It
Yeah,
is.
there's some Mexicans here too.
Oh.
Nice, keeping it authentic. So you're gonna have live music today?
We allow everybody here, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that right? Oh,
We let
man.
everybody
It's very
come in.
progressive of you in
Yeah.
2020.
What was
What was the question? I love the disclaimer.
What was the question?
So do you have are you gonna have live music today?
We had it, but canceled because storms were
Oh, that's right.
coming through
that's
around
right.
6
There's
o'clock.
possibility
Yeah,
it's gonna be
because
better.
why don't we start the hurricane season off early this year, right?
Yeah.
See, down in
Sure.
North Carolina, we use for what I do for my job. It's been a disaster. It's when I live close to one of the major rivers in North Carolina, and
Right.
they're talking about having we got flash flood warnings and all this crazy stuff. So
Well, I'm telling I think I said this a couple episodes ago that with us not driving around, there's not being a lot of cars on the road.
Right.
That there's a possibility we're affecting the natural, well, what's called the natural in parentheses, natural order of things. You know, like, we had an unseasonably long cool streak up here in Norfolk this year.
Like I couldn't believe last week it was in the 40s.
Yeah,
It's just so nice
in
though.
the last
What is it today?
it's 70.
170 with the
81 right now with,
It's 81 right
with
now.
about 90%
And it was supposed to.
humidity.
It wasn't supposed to get past like 74 or 75, but here we are. It's one
I
today.
hate you probably like this too. I hate that when I just sit here, I sweat.
Yeah, I can sit in
The
the
humidity
middle of the bed in a 65-degree room and sweat,
is
doing nothing.
I love food.
It's not exactly your fault.
I feel
love
you,
it.
brother.
Yeah,
I feel you.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my
But in the
god.
last 2 weeks, it's
I
been
love
fucking
food.
rainy and overcast during the week. So that's weird, man. It's a lot
Which
of-
is not good for us. I mean,
not for because all of your sitting is
everything's
outside
outside right now. So
Are
So
your
do you guys-
hold on. Are your Adirondack chairs sealed?
Sure. We'll
Yes.
go with that. You.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll-
Shut up, CB.
Absolutely.
Now listen, I'll bring you a can from home. We'll make sure they don't turn
Well,
green.
yeah, come out here and steal all
I
the
think I'm
chairs.
pretty sure.
Oh, well,
they're
listen, I'm
sealed.
not doing
I'm
anything.
pretty
All
sure
my
they're
classes
sealed.
are
Yeah.
online.
Come on, bring it on.
So because you have the outside seating area, do you allow like people with their dogs? Like, because me and
Dogs
you,
are
so,
allowed as long as they're on leash. Yeah.
as long as they're on a leash. Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Because
And you're holding the leash.
yeah, me. Well,
That's a good. You know what?
Whiskey
That's a
and
pretty
Guinness.
fair comment. Some of these people are like, oh, my dog's on a leash, but it's like an 85-foot extension leash. You're like, no. That's
6 foot, no more.
Yeah.
That's the law.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whiskey and Guinness are hiding right now. Well,
She's
whiskey's
loving that cold cement floor.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely,
She heard
yeah.
her name.
She heard it. Yeah, Guinness is like, no.
She's loving that
I'll
cold
wait till
floor.
you start giving it command. Yeah. Oh, look at it. She's so cute. Smile. Oh, yeah.
want to be on camera, Dad.
Daddy loves you.
She's just an attention whore. That's all
She is.
Dude, she got out of the car and came in the house and was like whipping around.
She almost
all
fell
over.
down you
So
stairs.
excited
Oh, yeah. She almost came downstairs and I have a
to be
prayer.
somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I have a prayer rug at the front, which is upside down. It's for all the mud and whatnot. Yeah, I said it. And she came downstairs full bore, 15 steps, and hit that thing. And I thought for sure she was going out the glass screen door. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm about to lose one of them.
So how many beers? I'm seeing. Is that all the beer?
No, we've
Because
added.
you have a master brewer,
We have a brewmaster.
a brewmaster. Sorry,
Get it right, Billy. Fuck.
Sorry, I don't. I just drink this shit. I don't make it.
Oh, it's not shit. This is
I
high
think
quality.
we have
immediately.
about 3 more besides that. We just 2 kegs of seltzer just kicked. Hard seltzer just kicked.
You guys make a hard seltzer?
We did. We had it for the past 2 weeks, and we only had 1 keg of each. We're gonna be making more.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
when
I didn't realize that you guys did stuff other than beer. So you make
We also
seltzer
make
now?
root beer and craft sodas.
Get the fuck out of
Root
here.
beer, wild cherry
So
soda.
you get about like 21 different drinks
I
here,
want to try
6
some
of
of that wild.
which,
I want to try some of that wild cherry soda.
4 of which are
Thank you.
non-alcoholic.
When you get off this camera, don't focus on the camera.
There's a camera here.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I was so convincing.
So you have about 20 drinks, 4 of which are non-alcoholic, 2 of which are not beer. Down.
Correct.
More or less.
Correct.
Down. It's pretty dope. You guys,
And then we do Rattlers and Shandy's. Shandy takes the wild cherry soda and our Pillsdale and makes a black cherry shandy. And then
I'm gonna have
the
Cody
Rattler
make
is our
those.
ginger beer and the Pillsdale.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Pillsdale.
Okay. And those are regularly available?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm going to have Cody make one of those next. That
Yeah.
candy sounds amazing.
The shandy's nice on a good hot day.
Well,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Given the
That's
way
a
we're-
beach- to me, that's a beach beer.
given the way we're going right now, today's a hot day.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
really
it's a
good.
hot day.
Yeah, it's nice outside. Well,
Shit.
Greg, man, listen, we appreciate you fucking sitting down with us,
I
man.
appreciate you having me.
I know the cameras are making you sweat a little more than normal.
I'm like listening.
It's nice. It's nice.
Listen, we appreciate you guys accommodating. We
Greg.
appreciate you guys opening
Thank
up
you.
to us.
Yeah, thank you so
Thanks
much,
for
brother. I
letting us do
appreciate.
Now I'm gonna bring out hand sanitizer
Yeah.
and a cherry soda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, brother.
I'll get
Hercules.
Thanks.
Dude, this place is. I'm glad we did this. This is awesome. I hope that some of our viewers that are watching, our fans, are able to make it here and support this awesome business. Obviously,
Yeah, so for those of you that are maybe just chiming in, we just spoke with Greg Wicker, the front of house manager at Maker's Craft Brewery, which is where we're at today here in Norfolk, Virginia. And like I said, they got about 16 beers on tap. They make their own shandies. They got sodas for people who drink. I think they just tapped like a raspberry something or other last night. I saw a
crazy,
video.
man. It's
And
crazy.
so they're very welcoming, allowing us to do this here. So later on today, we're going to speak with the owner, Rick Mariani, and his son Mike, and maybe even the bartender, depending on how busy he is. Caleb out there, he's mixing me up some good stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna get some good food too. I'm kind of upset about the band, but that's okay. I mean, these storms are
The food truck, like a fucking big ass fucking burrito. Like I don't know, as soon as you
So-
said that, I started salivating.
So, dude,
Like there's a
Mexican-
Taco Bell near my house, so I can always get my Mexican fix. But honestly, a dude making it out of a truck. So the best one I think I've ever had, I was in California for C school, and they had what's up, man? Good. So they had this food truck, and they would come out like two times a day, and it was like $3.50. You get like a full breakfast burrito and a sweet tea. Like $3.50. Come on,
What's going on,
man.
brother?
Fucking join us.
So introduce yourself to everyone.
Hey everybody, I'm Michael Mariani or Mike Mariani or whatever you want to call me. Doesn't matter.
Whatever you want to call me.
Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
So your parents own the place, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
means you have how much involvement?
Plenty. I basically
You're the in-house beer taster specialist, right?
one.
Yes.
I come up with all the descriptions for the labels. I work with our designer for label design, stuff like that. I do all the
That's pretty
POS system work, website work.
cool. Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's not just being involved because your parents are involved.
no,
That's
that's
being involved
awesome,
because
Greg. Thank
is
you
that what you
so
did before
very much.
they opened the brewery? Or
Okay. I have another job.
Okay.
Which
I
is-
swear to God, if you say it's cooking,
Ben.
No, it's not hooking. It's not hooking. Not yet.
Hey,
But
it's runny. It's very watery.
I've heard that before.
That's what she said. Why does it keep leaking? Sorry.
So before your parents opened up this brewery
yes.
and incited you to come and do all the tech stuff they didn't want to learn how to do,
Mhm.
what did you do?
Well, I still do it.
Okay. Pardon?
Yeah, we actually have a second business.
Oh, get the fuck out.
Yeah, Santino Mariani and Company is our hotel furniture manufacturing business. So we
Holy shit.
make custom hotel furniture.
How do you get into that?
I could have swore that hotel furniture
That is
was
not
a
something
factory.
you hear
I would
every day.
I would have bet my life savings hotel furniture is on a conveyor belt and is all the same worldwide.
No,
You can buy it. Generally these days it comes out of like China, Vietnam, that kind of stuff.
not anymore.
Well,
Thanks, Trump.
It used to be based here in North
Really?
Carolina. Was like the capital of basically.
The hotel.
Well, that's the whole thing.
management.
Is High Point, North
Yeah,
Carolina.
that's
They
where
actually
it was.
still have.
Small contingents of it down there.
What's
but their
so-
woodworking industry down there. Wow.
Is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have some good friends, and I'm sure they're watching. They usually do. that run a company called Safe House Studios, and
Okay.
the owner, Jason, is actually he's kind of like my mentor. Is how I got into the producing side of like this.
Okay.
So you actually have to go. It's in Greensboro, so you have to go through like High Point's right there.
Mhm.
So I was always curious. I'm like, they have the furniture festival
Yep.
where
No
people.
shit.
No, this
Yeah.
is no joke. Like, look, I'm getting
Commercial
goosebumps.
market, it's serious business.
People come from all over the fucking world.
Really?
Fly into High Point, North Carolina. We're talking like some of the top like interior designers
Holy
of
shit.
like billionaires
Yep.
come into High Point to their wood to just to talk to the woodworkers.
Mhm.
So
It's
you,
insane.
so
It's
that's
wild.
that's your other. That's what you normally do.
That's
your
that's my day job.
Holy shit.
So that's what I do 8 to 5. Then I come over here after work and do some stuff here if I'm not doing it over there. I mean,
Do you do this? Do you do the tech stuff over there as well?
I do it here, there, both places. Laptop.
So it's not
Laptop, cell phone.
Yeah, laptop, cell phone, work it on the computer there. If it's something they need right now.
Yeah, that's nice.
Only when I'm talking to our designers.
How long has
there.
that company been around? This is your family's company?
Yeah, this iteration is since '96.
Okay.
So you about what 24 years now.
Wow.
And I learned
Shut the fuck up.
Same year as everybody loves Raymond.
I hate you so much. Don't listen to him.
That must be a running gag on this.
Oh my, no, they were just making fun of me because I'm fucking significantly older than him.
Just significantly, just measurably.
Shut the hell up.
So this iteration since 1996,
Yes.
and before that,
Before that, there was a couple different things that my dad had done. Like, he started off as a landscaper, started doing woodworking in a garage. He was going to be like the artist kind of stuff.
Was he trying to really go with this whole Italian Renaissance?
Oh,
man?
you should see some of these. You should see some of the pieces he's got in his house. It's freaking ridiculous.
Mariani is not an Irish name by
No,
any means
no,
whatsoever.
nope, hard Italian.
Yeah.
Just
Cooper comes from my mom's side, and that's where this comes from.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, I'll buy we'll just say you're Northern Italians.
Or the impressionable region.
So that's crazy. So that's a very fixated industry to be in.
Yeah.
So, and that hotels are going up like crazy, which is
Yep.
unbelievable because just where I live I live in tobacco country, North Carolina, right off of 95. They're building 4 hotels
Holy
within
shit.
like 5 miles
Yep.
of me right now. And they're literally they're like, we just need enough room for the hotel, a parking lot. That's it. They're like 2 acres.
Yeah.
And they'll build a 12-story Holiday Inn on 2-3 acres.
Yeah, and put
And
at
then you
least
have to furnish-
14 rooms on every floor.
And then you have to
Yep.
furnish that whole thing. Wow, that's
I
crazy.
can't even, I can't even fathom the amount of money you would spend to a company to furnish 14 rooms times 24 floors plus a lobby.
I can tell you.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm in sales. That's what I do. Is I sell stuff.
So
Wow.
do you sell to and hotel as an individual, or do you have like a
Generally, it goes through a purchasing agent.
Okay.
There's interior
But
designers.
it's not like
involved.
you're-
And we're working with people all over the country. So, like, someone's buying stuff out of Arizona, the designers in Chicago, the hotels in Texas.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's all over the
Holy
place.
shit. What? So, give me a number you can think of if you of the furniture you provide to a hotel.
the biggest one we've ever done so far, I'm working on some that are about this size actually right now that I'm trying to sell. Anyway, was the Grand Hyatt in Washington, D.C.,
Holy
which was
shit.
2,000 rooms,
Holy shit.
$3.5 million.
Oh my god!
Now,
Hold on, is that
I need a
chairs,
fucking
couches,
beer.
beds?
we do headboards, dressers, nightstands, that kind of stuff. The wood case good furniture.
Holy shit!
Now, I'll be straight. The profits on that are way lower than the profits on this.
Oh yeah, because you're going into a very specific niche.
And
Or
materials cost more, labor costs more.
Yeah. So it's
But still,
So
now
profit margin.
there's got to be
your profit margin is different, but
there's
still,
got to be a lot
though,
of
that's
bidding wars for stuff.
Oh,
like
it's
this.
huge.
It's insane.
It's huge. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're narrowing down a price to where
Yep.
you're like
Just
you can almost be like, well, we're only going to make 5%
Yeah.
off of this,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yep.
Even though the price tag on it's 7 figures,
Yeah.
you might not make that 7 figures anywhere
Right.
close to it. Yeah.
Still though.
So that's different. But oh yeah, a place like this, like we were
So hold
talking
on.
with Greg.
So that's what your dad owns that company?
Yes.
So-
My mom used to work there. She retired. I do her job now.
What What prompted your parents to open up a brewery?
Okay. So
Yeah, I want to hear this
That's
story.
that's a hell of a transition. That's different from like, oh, we sell furniture to hotels. Let's open up a furniture store.
I'm all about the origin story. I want to know how
Yeah.
So
this became.
my dad's a hobby guy. He
Yeah.
doesn't sit around.
Okay.
Like he does not like sitting around. If he's sitting around, he's having a beer, cigar, and that's it. Like he's
Yeah.
going to bed. But if he's during the day, he likes to be doing something. Early in the 2000s, it was racing BMWs. He did that for a while. Then after wrecking a few of those, he was like, he was like, I just don't have the time and effort to keep building these cars, so I'm gonna start doing something else. Well, I mean, you have to, it's a spec series thing, so you have to make them all exactly the same.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
So he started brewing beer. My mom got him a brewing kit, one of those, little glass things and stuff. A few years in the early 2010s, mid 2010s, something like that. Early 2010s probably. And then he started brewing in his garage, and then it kept getting bigger. Like he got bigger stuff. He started moving into stainless steel, like little baby stainless steel. Everything. And then he was like, well, I want to make a lager. So he took an old refrigeration unit and turned that into a lagering thing to keep the fermentation cool.
What?
Then he built a kegerator out of an old freezer. And
That's awesome.
Jesus.
I need one of those.
So this is an evolutionary kind
Yeah,
of thing. You didn't just wake up and be like, beer's where it's at.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those things. It's
he was doing it as a hobby.
it was like, Mike, I got a really good idea. We need to find a building. Let's
Oh,
become
no.
brewers.
He wasn't
No,
going
it
to do this.
This was
It
over.
a hobby.
So when did
Oh,
this
hold
start?
on. He had no inclination to open a brewery.
At the
At
beginning,
first,
no.
All right.
I started brewing with him eventually,
Yeah.
and then a few years after we started brewing, he kept just like being. He would take it to the racetracks. He still goes sometimes.
You sell a cup.
Well, he wouldn't sell it. He would just take it to drink with his buddies. And they were like, "Oh, you should open a brewery." And he kept bragging about how this beer is so good. Everyone's telling me you should open a brewery. I was like, "Well, why don't you?"
Yeah.
I mean, we were sitting there brewing. It's days like, I don't know, when it's 90 degrees outside, it's
Yeah.
110 inside the garage. It's brutal stuff we were making.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it was good beer.
So
Eventually, I
how did
convinced him to open
you
one.
guys find this location?
We were-
I feel like these are
location. That we were
are
playing
sheer
at.
luck. Like kind of like that. Like you're kind of just looking and you're looking and you're looking, and then you're like, what the fuck's that?
Hey, how long?
Like-
You've been open just over a year.
Yeah, March,
just
right?
over a year.
Yeah.
March was our grand opening. February we had our soft opening of last year.
Oh,
Okay.
Late February.
okay, cool.
So what was this before? Do you know?
Before right now, it was the like truck repair place of Auxiliary Systems, which is a company that has buildings all over.
So the company cars came over here from
that.
their location to get
And-
fixed.
Yeah,
Okay.
but originally it was a plumbing supply warehouse,
Wow.
and there was actually train tracks that went through what's now our parking lot, and
Huh.
they basically would unload stuff off the train, store it here. If it needs to go somewhere, put it on the train, whatever. We found them. The train tracks were there when we dug up for the parking lot.
No shit.
And like
You had to pull the rails out of the ground?
And like,
Oh
three-
my God.
and like a crap load of old, what are they called, cobblestones? You know, like the old
Yeah,
cobblestone
yeah,
Yeah,
roads?
like
Yeah.
old Boston Street type
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
All the cobblestones you see out there is stuff we pulled out of there.
Get the
And we
fuck
gave
out.
away probably, I don't know, 1,000 pounds worth of them.
That's
Wow.
fantastic.
I mean, that's what they were. They were old ballast.
So it's crazy. So this was
tanks.
pretty much just a repair facility for vehicles.
It seems like it was everything industrial and boring until it
Mhm.
was a brewery.
Oh yeah.
And then you.
I mean, it had all the cool stuff. The wall, like the.
Oh, yeah,
ceilings,
like,
the
yeah,
ceiling
I
just,
see it
and
all
you could just
brick.
see, I mean, I know you guys can't see it, but just like the main, the main woodwork up here is just, it's unbelievable.
yeah.
I
it's
see,
great.
growing up in the
It's all-
Northeast,
dude,
I
it's
grew
all
up
solid.
in a very history-rich area of
Bro, that might
the
be
North Shore of Long Island.
actual. That might be
So I
actual.
love when I
like,
see like old architecture and stuff like that, and then to be able to
Hotels?
transform it into
dude,
this, because this place is
Yeah.
this place is beautiful.
Yeah.
dude, that
it
might
came out
be
great.
actual. That might be actual 2x10 instead of.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Instead
It's
of
absolutely-
1.5 by
absolutely
9
amazing.
and a quarter,
Yeah,
that
I
might be
think
actual
it is.
2x10.
And the only way you can find out is if you come down here, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone is watching. It's the
Hey.
only way you can see it.
And the beer's good.
And the beer's very good. So I actually had a question about
Go ahead. Go ahead.
the beer, because we were talking to Greg about it before. So you have all these beers up here. You have about 3 more. You're doing the sodas. You're doing the seltzers. Now, when the brewmaster, not the master.
It's not the
when
master
brewer, when the
brewmaster.
brewmaster makes the beer, when he's like, okay, and you,
I think it's she here.
or she, sorry,
Yeah.
when she's gotten to the point and everyone feels like, okay, this right here, this IPA or whatever is perfected for us.
Mhm.
Do you patent those? Are those something, or is it just
Not really, no.
no? So it's just an
but you
in-house
also don't
recipe.
but you don't put your recipes out there.
No,
for
no,
the
No,
public
that's
eye.
what I'm saying. So it's an in-house secret.
So somebody accidentally made it when they accidentally
Yeah.
made it. Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the home brewing circles, basically, you can see like how to make this beer, how to make this
Yeah,
beer. There's
yeah.
like, there's
I was just
Greek
curious from that
replications
side. I mean, you could technically, if you wanted to go that route,
Yeah.
be like this is ours, and then screw everybody else.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like
There's
lot of legal in that. It's
there's a
just-
genuine science behind.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but the amount of effort to
It's
go in to
serious.
make one of these beers is
Insanity.
you'd be lucky to mimic it at home.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
down to the exactness.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they're also offering college courses now for this. You get a master's.
You get a master's
degree
degree
as a brewmaster.
in brewmaster.
As a
Yeah,
kid.
that's fucking crazy.
Yes, you
Hey,
can.
how many of these beers are any of these beers your dad's recipes?
Oh, the ones up there right now? No. The red IPA is based on his original red IPA,
Okay.
which is it's not the same, but it's similar.
Okay.
Back when we had what we called the CJ Dippa,
I remember that one.
yeah, that was me and his recipe.
Okay.
But we had to tweak it because hops that are available at home brewers are not available at quantity. Citra hops, for instance,
Mhm.
everybody uses it. So it's really
At
hard to
home
find.
or in this size?
in this size.
Okay.
It's like all the big breweries are buying what's called futures, so they buy crops that are not ready yet.
Holy shit! I didn't
So
know that.
so it makes it really hard to find some hops. Hops
Okay.
can be really hard.
So some of these are based on his recipes. Then.
Some of them, yeah,
Well, your mother's name's Felicia,
correct.
and thank you, Felicia, for following us, which she just did. So I just want to say thank you for
She
that.
was taking a nap, so she must have just woke up.
You know what gave me the idea is one of our episodes. She popped up as the viewing thing, and then I came here after they opened, and I was like, "Did I see you on my podcast the other day?" She goes, "Yeah, I think so." And I'm like, "I'm sorry for the language."
So just like
worse than me and my.
Oh, it's yeah. I'm talking to your dad. He's hilarious. And when I told him my last name, he was just like, "Oh, you giddy." I was like, I feel like I'm at home. It's so great. I love this place.
How it goes.
Virginia's so far from New York, but they don't make it feel like
They don't make it
that.
feel like that.
Well, I mean, our families have come out of what is it, Framingham? That's where
Okay, yeah.
all his cousins and stuff are up there.
Oh wow.
Holy shit.
Okay, yeah. So this place, I mean, just like I told Greg, thank you for letting us do this here.
Oh,
I
of
mean, it's
course.
an absolute pleasure to be able to help, co-promote, our
Yeah.
podcast and then your amazing brewery.
Well, thanks for coming.
I'll
this
tell you what,
is
man.
really-
I didn't realize that you guys had only. I've lived up.
It means a lot to us.
I've only lived up here since April last year, and I didn't realize that you guys were that new.
Yeah, we were a
And-
month old when you got here.
Yeah, so I used to go to
That's
this
crazy.
brewery down the road from my house. I could walk there, and they relocated. And I was like, I'm not fucking driving all the way out there. And I just happened to be driving by some one day and saw this is a Maker's Craft Brewery, and I was like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I was doing before, but I'm not doing it anymore. And this is what I do on Thursdays. I'll come down with a cigar and a beer, and I'll read my book or whatever to get away from
See,
class.
I wish where I live in North Carolina, they don't really. They do, but you have to drive.
You have to,
Yeah,
you have to kind of put
It's
in
like
the effort,
30
yeah.
minutes closer to the city in
And this
Raleigh.
is perfect because you guys are on not a main road, but a moderately
Well,
well-traveled
that's one of the
road.
reasons we liked this area is because it had good exposure. A lot of these breweries are back in industrial areas and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Or you
This
have
is-
to go to like downtown Virginia Beach or like parts of Chesapeake or Portsmouth. There's a
Yeah.
toll involved. This is a regularly
It's a great
traveled.
location.
This is a
Yeah.
regularly
The
traveled route
size
to and
of,
from.
like Greg said, just the
You said,
size
wait,
of
an
I
acre
call it
outside?
the campus.
Is that
Yeah,
an acre
Just the-
outside?
yeah, a
So
full
like
acre.
let's call it a 1.5 acre plot in which you
Mhm.
can drink and smoke. You can smoke in we'll call it a 1/8 acre. No,
Especially for like guys like us who
1.8,
bring your dogs
a
here.
1.8
Exactly.
acre.
That's
I mean,
you brought your dog.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the owner's son, but
Yeah, you do.
yeah.
We're dog families though. Like that's what our family is.
All
My
real
parents have
Americans
3
are.
pugs.
Damn.
That's fantastic.
And they've always had dogs, and I've got the bulldog and
Without Guinness and whiskey, my service dog is really safe being and you being a dog lover and your family being that way. Our dogs saved our lives literally because me I don't know if you know, but me and Hugh have both been to some not so great places in the world.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, And then the organization that we got them from, Leashes of Valor, who no matter what I'm doing, I always plug for them because they were able to get me a dog that literally saved my life. So
we were
going to
do an event with leashes down here, and then some shit got in the way last summer.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, so it's some shit got in the way. We had to cancel, but once this whole thing goes away,
I'm sure something.
Oh yeah, we'd be happy to have y'all.
Oh yeah, a bunch of dogs running around the backyard with a hoagie truck and some live music. This shit sells itself.
Yeah.
You know?
How can I say no to that?
Yeah, and for what Leashes does is, they pair post 9/11 veterans that were diagnosed with PTSD, TBI, or MSTs with highly trained service dogs. And I mean, obviously, you can see Whiskey and Guinness. When we tell them this down,
they haven't moved.
They're not moving. They might come over
since I've been here.
Yeah. They might come over and sniff you for a second, but once me and you pop a look at them, they're like, "Oh,
yeah, right." I'll be seeing you at 3 o'clock.
But it's really great being able to come to a place like this where seeing other people with their dogs, the owner's family with their dog, and because we always have to, even though we're allowed to go to pretty much anywhere with our dogs. I mean, there's certain.
We have to evaluate if it's worth the amount of effort. And I'll tell you what,
because it's not just us getting the anxiety when we go out to places. We have to worry about
some of these people.
We can't set them up for failure.
Yes. We also like I said, I come here usually on Thursdays during the week, and your family did not spare any expense on the filtering system in here. So I feel very comfortable bringing Guinness and having a cigar, and him usually be laid over in the corner one night, and he's not just inhaling a ton of smoke.
Exactly.
And it's always 10 degrees cooler in the smoking lounge than it is out there.
Well, the door's open and stuff. I mean, there's nothing
nothing you can do about that. And but it's always a really nice environment. We appreciate you guys letting us come out here.
Of course.
Yeah, I hope a lot of other businesses go out. I hope you guys stick around. And this has been really cool, especially considering how I did my quarantine out of necessity because there's nowhere to go. Billy did his with his kids, and it was nice.
Which was a crazy transition.
It was nice when people started opening back up. I think some people, to a lot of people are probably like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm over here like, let's find out what's going on. Let's see what the limitations are. And I can't sit in the smoking lounge this week, but I can always sit outside. I can still smoke. I can have a beer.
Yeah, like even one of my friends from New York, she said right here, she said, "You guys aren't wearing face masks. I'm so jealous." She lives in New York, so it's like up there is just.
And while we do have that going on right now, it's face masks are required in the general brewing area. But for the sake of the podcast,
and we all, we've all self-assessed each other prior to this and everything like that. Yeah. Especially my industry that I'm in back home for what I do for work that's one of the biggest things I have to do. So I work for a major pest control company. It's actually funny, Arrest-A-Pest. And it's great. But hey, you guys laugh. I make money. It's so funny.
Yeah, but you also live in the Carolinas. It'd be different if you had an Arrest-A-Pest in Montana.
Yeah.
Where they're just like.
But there, it's the owner makes. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So for when I go to anywhere between 10 to 20 customers' houses a day. So for social distance for us, that was one of the first things: N95 mask, nitrile gloves, hand sanitizer. We even have the hand soap that it's like medical, a can of it. Wet soap.
And you would knock on the door and then take some steps back.
Yep. So I would ring the doorbell, and I would, having children, at this point, for what we were doing we're like, hey, we're not going to treat the inside of the house. We'll just do the outside. We'll come back once all this goes away.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was really, at the beginning, it was so, and I'm sure you guys felt this way too. It was so stressful because you even said something. It's like, I'm afraid to go outside sometimes. I haven't let my kids, I'll either make big runs to the store right after work and then go pick them up from their grandparents.
So they don't have to be exposed.
Or if I have to go somewhere and they're with me, it's quick, stay in the car.
Yeah.
Because they're old enough. My oldest is almost 11. Just stay in the car. Dad's going to be right there. I'm just going to grab a couple things, come back out.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy, from what you said in the parking lot, Hugh, is we've been to all these places overseas that are shitstorms.
Absolute fucking garbage.
And it sucks in the sense that this almost brought back some of the PTSD, having the fear
with all that stuff happening.
Because
you can't see it,
and you don't know.
That's what sucks.
It reveals people who keep their fear internal are vocalizing it more than they did before.
Mhm.
You know, even in the beginning of this whole thing, especially in states like Virginia here, we have these new restrictions and regulations.
Yeah.
And it's really exposing people's internal fears are more vocal now, and it's
Yeah, it's crazy. So in the same sense we were talking to Greg about it, is I think it's really going to help you guys out, because a lot of these bigger corporations are seeing what remote, working can do.
You guys,
for
we think that you guys are probably going to do an increased number of pickup or delivery,
Yeah.
while also
I probably see more people in here working and
while
enjoying
also
beer,
increasing
yeah,
the
and
people
a
that are
cigar.
like,
we already had some people already doing that beforehand. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Some people are like in the back.
prior to the whole
Yeah,
COVID.
there would be tables back there, especially those ones by the bathroom for some reason.
Yeah.
People just sit there on their laptop.
dude, I
could
almost guarantee that after this is done, people who have telework agreements are going to be spending more time out of their house working
I'm
at
sure.
places they want to be, and
Yeah.
businesses who do delivery and pickup are going to increase delivery and pickup while also maintaining capacity.
Yeah.
Well, even who I think I was talking to Chris, our okayest Marine.
What's okay, Marine?
That he even said that a lot of corporations that they're showing now are actually seeing an increase in productivity
Yeah.
because people are more comfortable.
Yeah, they're comfortable.
They're
Oh
able
my
to
God.
adjust better. The stresses of simple things like dual working families. Who's picking the kids up?
That's
Yeah,
what we're
Those
doing.
stresses are gone.
Exactly.
You just have to get the kids and the family acclimated to mommy's in the office.
Yeah.
Unless you're on fire or dying,
Yeah.
don't talk to them.
Go play in the fenced-in backyard with our.
Yeah.
If you are on fire, dying, there's a hose out back.
Just throw your sister in the pool.
Yeah,
Everything
fine.
will be okay.
It'll be okay.
But the cover's on. So, Mike, do you guys, does the family, does the brewery, do you guys have any events that are coming up, like big ones that you want to?
Oh man, if I knew what was going on as far as
Yeah.
events go, I'd let you know. Sadly, that's not my forte. I try to stay as far away from that as I can.
Just because of
You want to
There's just-
make it
that's
look pretty. You want to do the oh look, our video flows and everything
It's-
works properly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When my social media person brings stuff to me and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, that looks good. We can go with that. Let's do that. Okay, this can looks good. Do you have everything you need? Do you need a ticket up there on the POS system or something for this? Sure. Yeah, that's me. My mother and Greg deal with all the events and stuff, so
Okay.
I'm just like,
Fair
I'm going
enough.
to step back. I'm going to not do anything I don't have to do.
Right. Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, listen, man, thank you for being
Of
here.
course.
today.
Actually, before you go,
Oh, yeah.
let's get into the pod decks. Did I explain these to you?
No.
Okay,
Shit, yeah, man.
so we're actually
I think Greg mentioned these.
So we're an affiliate for Pod Decks. So there's 5 different decks we got here.
All
There's
right, let's
episode decks, but we're not going to do those because that's for just straight podcast. So pick 2.
I'm not going to pick anything that says energy deck. That just seems generic.
Well, those questions in there, they're
There's some
they're
good
pretty
stuff,
good.
man.
Okay.
So these are nice. They help break up the monotony. They help like with your
Pick
Zoom
a card and
calls
hand it to
and
me.
your podcasts and your interviews and whatnot.
All right.
Let's see what we got.
What this is the would you rather, right?
Yeah. Would you rather?
I thought
no.
some fucked up one of these.
Oh,
These are. This Greg might like this one. Would you rather be in shape and have a great body but ugly face, or have a gorgeous face but be overweight?
Give me the beautiful face.
The beautiful
Give me-
face,
give me the-
because you could crop everything out or
Yeah,
Photoshop
exactly.
the shit.
You can be like every
I could
woman.
be like an Instagram model. It's
There
like
you
the
go.
same thing.
You can be like every woman on Facebook who thinks they're
You gotta
overweight.
learn to pose. Was that stupid thing those dumb
Yeah.
gun bunnies do?
You
Like,
gotta do it from
hey,
above.
look, it's
with
my
the
left
neck
butt.
You
out.
can be like
Butt
you can be like
cheek.
every woman on for social media who thinks they're overweight. You want to take photos from the shoulders up,
No, I hate. I
but then
hate.
you
I
can
hate
still
this.
go eat it. Like you get like
This crap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you do that though,
No,
you
you're still
have-
fat.
But guess what? Guess what? You still have 20 tacos
Oh,
delivered to your fucking door. So you're pretty and you're getting your fuel.
Oh,
So like, who gives a shit?
Who orders from 3 different delivery places in one night for dinner? The
Americans.
girl that does this. So
fucking
bad.
great.
Oh,
All right,
Alright,
so this
so-
one's called the What the Heck deck. So pod decks. This guy Travis came up with this great concept that there's 5 decks they have right now. They're actually going to come out with an app.
Dope.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The
So
auto shuffle? Bro, auto
I
shuffle.
hope so.
Auto shuffle.
auto shuffle. So what it is there's 50 cards in each deck, and it's really a cool way to, go through a podcast where me and Hugh don't script this out.
Yeah,
You know, we have a general idea and we just kind of go with it.
that makes sense.
So it's really fun to do this. So go ahead, pick another one from the what the heck.
I feel like this one's gonna be worse.
It is going to be. How fast can you say the alphabet?
Oh God.
Well, hold on. Are we talking about like clarity? Like, do I have to hear him say it?
You have to say the alphabet.
I give you-
It's not. You can't just
hold
go.
on. Are we doing
Say
the
the
old
alphabet.
way or the new way?
What if there's two ways?
Yes, I just saw
Did they
a fucking
add
video
letters?
yesterday. No, they fucking.
Did they add a letter?
No, they
What the
changed the
fuck?
tempo. They changed the tempo. I shit you not, man. I just saw they changed the tempo of the alphabet.
It's all that Common Core learning bullshit.
No, so
they're
it's not
doing.
like
Oh,
it's not
God.
like
Don't
it's
get
not
me started.
it's not LMNOP. It's LMNOP. It takes like twice as fucking
But you have to
long.
sing it to a song. I don't think I have to sing
No,
it to a
it's
song
very
for
mono.
this.
It's very monotone. We'll have to look it up on the YouTuber after this.
On the internet
Maybe
machine.
On the internet machine, I'm telling you, man, it's like they changed the whole fucking the tone of it is takes like twice as fucking
I don't
long.
know. It's probably
Dude,
Disney
you-
doing
you-
something with the birthday song.
I think it's actually honestly. I think,
Someone
I
give
think,
Big
I
Bird
think,
acid.
I think Sesame Street. I think Sesame Street is going to HBO now. They're like,
What the-
yeah.
What?
I don't know. I think that's what they
Sesame
said.
Street,
I was
that's
drinking when I read that. Yeah, we're gonna have to look it up.
Sesame
We're gonna have to look it up, man. This is
Big Bird
my
doesn't make
this is
any
my
sense.
Cookie Monster
Sesame
style.
Street,
Yeah.
The hunger street.
Yeah,
only
dude,
only
I'm,
one
no,
shall
I'm not even.
survive.
I'm not even kidding. There's two. I don't know if they're trying to push it. I don't know if it's like a thing, but I saw something like they're trying to
Can't.
change the way because LMNOP. What Family Circus? Remember that comic strip?
Oh yeah.
So one of them was like, I remember it was just like one pane of the kid, and it was like HIJKL and then OP.
Oh.
And I wonder, I can't help but
Say it
wonder.
again.
I can't help but wonder if maybe shit like that is happening where you have to explain to kids it's LMNO and not LMNO.
Yeah, it's Elementa.
It's Elementa.
Yeah, it's elemental.
It's
Yeah,
followed
which if
by-
If you don't understand what that is,
I mean, it's not the 90s anymore.
and that's why there's homeless children.
There were two adults here earlier learning how to roller skate, and one of them might have been an officer in the military. So, like,
Yeah, there
you
was.
know,
As she rolled
she literally
on by.
floated. She
It
floated
was in
by.
here before you got here.
Huh.
We were
Yeah.
sitting here, and I'm like,
That was all well and good, but they said they're learning how to roller skate. These are voting, consenting members of the adult community that are learning how
hey,
to
but you know
roller
what? They
skate.
bought beer and T-shirts.
Hey,
And I think they followed
I'm
us
cool
too.
with
So,
them.
yeah. So,
sometimes
so
you
thanks,
never roller
Lane.
skated before.
Hey, no,
Appreciate it.
hey, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just, I was sitting here. We were setting up for this, and I looked at you, and I went, I haven't seen that shit since '97, 23 years ago.
23 years ago. Right, yeah, 23
years ago. All right, Mike. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. You know, you
thanks
and
for
your
having
family
me.
for
Thanks for having me.
having us here. Also, it's awesome. So go
So,
have another one.
I will have another one. I'll go get the balls.
Yeah, but not because you told him to.
No, yeah, no. It's because that's a personal choice. That's a personal choice. So, Hugh, we're gonna stream this SpaceX launch because
It should be launched in about 23 minutes, right?
yeah. So I have it pulled up here on CBSN Live.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna try it.
We're gonna try.
Bro, so check this out, man. So we were talking about earlier. I went to Home Depot, not Lowe's, Home Depot. I hate Home Depot. I went to Lowe's and Best Buy today. Let me tell you, most of the people in Lowe's were wearing masks, and I wasn't. And the first thing that happened when I walked in, some fucking old person, some old white bitch, because fucking white people ruin everything. We can't have any nice shit with white people. This fucking bitch is like, you should be wearing a mask. I'm
Attorney Jacobs.
yeah, right. I was like, oh, I can't wear a mask, and I had Guinness with me, and she's like, well, what's wrong with you? And I was like, well, first of all, that's a pretty fucked up question. Second of all, it's a class 6.
She flat out asked.
She was like, what's wrong with you? Because she clearly read the thing that says like, if you're not wearing a mask, it's because you have a health condition or something like that. And I'm like, first of
Wow.
all, what the fuck is wrong with you? You think that's an appropriate question? Second of all, it's a class 6 felony to impede identification while carrying a firearm. And then I just stared at it, man. I just stared at her, and I was like, do one of these. Do one of these. Link. This was a weird experience today. Rick, how we doing, man?
Mr. Rick,
Good.
big man
Good.
Rick.
There we
What's
go.
going on?
Time for a beer and a smoke.
That's what's up. That's how you know you got your bartender trained up right. He just wherever you move to, he drops a new one.
Over there in the corner.
Over there in the corner. Is that for me?
Rick.
I just gave it to Here's Mike.
I rate higher than Mike does, so I got mine first. I said I rate higher than he does. That's why I got it first.
But it's good to know your front of house staff is like, oh, we got to make sure Mr. Mariani's got his fucking drink. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
So, Rick, first off, thanks for letting us do this here. Thanks for letting us, and thanks for joining us. Also, it means a lot to us. And just like I told your son, just like I told Greg, this place is absolutely amazing. What you guys did with this is just the layout. Just me. This is my first time here because I told you I live in North Carolina. But just walking in, it's nice to come to places like this where you instantly feel comfortable. There's not that tension and everything. So thank you again for having us. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you coming out. I mean, obviously, we can use all the publicity we can get.
Yeah, no, and then we're doing
shut
everything,
down for a while. Now we're starting to open back up. So
which is a good thing, which is a really good thing. So yeah, we'll do everything we can to help
Absolutely.
push our fellow veterans through your door to enjoy some of your awesome beer and
So listen,
smoke a couple
your
cigars.
son dined you out. You run a hotel furniture furnishing company. Is that manufacturer?
Yeah, I was telling your son that's I've never met anyone that does that. So I want to hear it from you because we asked him. That's your son, so you can watch what he said later.
He has the B-reel of the information. We want to hear it from you.
How'd you get into that?
it's kind of a long story, to be honest with you. You want to hear it all?
Yeah, try to give us the
I'll give you
long,
the
short
highlights
version.
at least. I actually had my papers here in Norfolk for being a Norfolk firefighter. I had my papers in,
Yeah.
and I hadn't got a call back. My wife gets an offer to go to Lynchburg, Virginia, to take on a corporate job for Leggett Stores.
Okay.
If anybody remembers Leggett Stores, but
Yeah.
large chain of department
Billy
stores.
does. That was probably before my time.
Shut
So anyway,
So
anyway, she asked me if I'll move to Lynchburg, and I basically said, no, I'm not moving anywhere. A place called a Berg.
fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
anyway, she talked me into going up there, and it's a nice town. And
Yeah.
we moved up there in '82. Couldn't find a job.
Really?
Couldn't find it. I was running a cabinet shop down here for a guy. Actually, a good friend of mine. I'm a trained certified nurseryman, but believe it or not, I did landscaping for years. But
Yeah, that's
then-
what your son was telling us that. Yep.
But then I got sick of everything relying on the weather. So I went for work, and woodworking was my hobby. So I went to work for my buddy that had a cabinet shop, ended up running a shop, was making in '82, making $14 an hour, I believe.
That's in '82. That's not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. I get to Lynchburg and I go around the cabinet shops and they all say $450.
No.
And then I go to all the nurseries because I'm a Virginia certified nurseryman. You know, I know all the Latin names, all these plants, and I'm $450. It's like, what did
Yeah.
what you guys
Choice
call
words.
each other? Or something?
Choice words.
What the hell you guys call each other or something? So anyway, my wife was making good money. We bought a 1886 Victorian house. I was going to renovate it.
Oh,
Start-
that's gorgeous. I love those old homes.
Yeah, I started a little wood shop in my carriage house. People started hearing about me, and that's basically how I started woodworking. Then I rented a little place, and I rented a bigger place, and I rented a
So
bigger place.
it just progressed, and then kind of something you just fell into, in the sense
Yeah,
that.
I did, because
Because I don't think that's something you're like, oh, this is what I want to get into.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like one of those.
I want to go make
those
furniture
industries.
for hotels.
Yeah, I just never.
it
But if the
actually
money's there.
progressed from, doing. I started out wanting to be an artist, doing real
Yeah.
artsy, crafty woodwork, hand cut dovetails, carving ball cloth.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Mariana.
So it's kind of in your blood then, the artistry.
Well, my grandfather was a master caster that came over on the boat from there.
Okay, so yeah. Long line of that kind of heritage then, huh?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Shut up, Rubino.
Yeah, I know.
It always, they say it skips a generation, so my old man was a lifelong squib. I can say that to you guys.
Fair enough.
So anyway, I started out that, realized I starved to death doing that, so I started doing kitchen cabinets, and then we started doing some commercial work. We did a lot of jewelry store work and stuff.
Nice.
Real specialized stuff. But finding people who got to be harder and harder to be, finding qualified cabinet people. So I decided we wanted to get into a more production-based business where you
Yeah.
can have 5 or 6 good qualified guys, and they can run 5 or 6 guys each,
Right.
too. And that's basically, and then then it was the heyday of the hotel industry, the late 80s. It was growing real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
Oh,
was in
man,
it.
yeah.
Drexel was in it. Thomasville was in it. So we started doing subcontract work for them. They started calling us up, and if they had a job that was less than a 100-room hotel, they didn't want to touch it, but they wanted to make
Less
the
than
sale.
100 room?
Less than 100 rooms.
Oh,
It was
shit.
too small for them. So
Wow.
we started out doing that. Didn't take long to figure out they were making all the money, and I was working my ass off. So I hired my own couple salespeople.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it
And
started.
that's what your son said he does now for the company is,
Yeah,
is
he's in
sales.
charge, he's in charge of sales. 94, we sold that business. Basically, came back to Norfolk, not knowing what the hell we were going to do, and being a dumbass manufacturing guy. What else do you do but what you done your whole life?
You kind of revert back to what you know.
Yeah, right.
You know, some customers had called me, called my wife and said, we can't find anybody that does what you guys do as good as you do it. So
That's got to make you feel good, though. There's
That-
people out there that want your craftsmanship and your quality work.
yeah,
And to be told that, there's no one else that does what you do, that's a great feeling, So it kind of puts that stamp on, it didn't matter what I did. And
Yeah.
I can see you coming back when you get those phone calls like that. So your son told us you were
Started out as a hobbyist. for
Yeah.
beer making.
brewing some.
Yeah, we were brewing in the garage. I mean, I started doing it, and then he started helping me, started getting into it and coming up with some different recipes and stuff like that.
Well, do you remember, was there a moment where you were like, this is what we're going to do? We're going to open a brewery.
There was, and it was quite a while ago, actually.
Before 2 years ago? I assume you've been open for a year, so I assume you've been looking for places 2 years ago.
I think we started in 2014 or something,
Looking
Wow.
for, holy shit.
maybe 15. We
You
found a
have to
building.
have that feeling like this is it.
Well, we found another building over in Ghent, which is now an apartment building. It was
Go figure.
That would have been the titsa, like a multi-layer fucking one whole floor for cigars and beer, a bottom floor for like cigars and food, and like a third floor, I don't know, like techno
We're
acid
throwing you
dropping.
ideas here,
Yeah,
Rick. We're throwing you ideas.
yeah.
Location too.
Yeah, put a sushi bar on the top floor. You know?
The problem was the appraiser was brand new. She appraised the building at half what I made, about half what I offered for the building, which was 200 grand less than what the guy was asking for. And then he ends up selling it for almost exactly what our deal was. So who was right, the appraiser, me, or?
Yeah, there was some.
So anyway,
yeah.
after that, we kind of took a year off because it just, just took the wind out of our sails.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
then we started looking again, and
Did you get that feeling when you saw this place?
I think my wife, I did a little bit. My wife has a better eye for,
Yeah.
She was the one that was really sold on it. Like this is where we need to be.
she said, the brick, the ceiling,
Yeah, no, it's the place, Rick. The place is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you picked this location because it's absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous.
'cause it's
Well,
all
I mean, from my perspective, from a business perspective, that out front space, the last 3
a
weeks.
whole acre for people.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
145 people at half capacity out there. It's fantastic. That's a
Yeah,
lot of
I mean,
people.
it's something nobody else in Norfolk has. I think
Yeah.
over in Chesapeake, you've got the farmhouse, you've got a lot of outside space and do around. But still, and I feel terrible for the restaurants because,
Yeah, it's really hard. It's hard on America. We're the hardest hit country. It's unless you're in specific industries, a lot of, and we were talking about this with Greg and your son, is I really feel because like I told you, I own a media business, and then just being in sales and stuff like that, you always kind of tend to have your mind in that direction. Is all this remote work and everything like we were just talking about earlier, I think is really going to drive you guys more to have more people in here working from home per se, or from Maker's Craft Brewery. So I really think once this kind of settles out, which hopefully is sooner than later, because this coronavirus is getting old quick.
yeah, you get real old. I mean, and before they even shut us down, we had already shut down half our tables inside. We were already social distancing and doing everything that we're going to have to start doing again next week, hopefully next week, but
So yeah, because it's different for North Carolina. We opened phase 2 about 2 weeks ago, but it was what they called it was modified phase 2. So like they opened up salons and restaurants at 50% capacity. And it's really cool down where I live in like, tobacco country, North Carolina. They can shut down Main Street because it's these one street towns. And what the mayors for those towns are doing are on Friday and Saturdays shutting that Main Street down. Police come in and block it off, and then they let them come up with temporary fences and extend their restaurant to the middle of the street. So that way it opens up their. So I think cool ideas like that little places are helping those restaurants that are hurting maybe get some more money, and maybe having that extra 3 or 4 tables could make that big difference.
It's nice that you guys don't
But
have to worry
still,
about
right
that.
now, for us, if you get a drop of rain, you're out of business for the day,
Yeah.
Or it's nice you guys have a whole acre outside that you can fit a ton of people in. They can still get, they can still come.
Yeah,
to the experience
we
they
had
want.
probably 110 to 120, I think. Week before last, we had Red Stapler Group.
I was here for that. I came in early in the morning.
Yeah, and the reason I know that is we got 50 Adirondack chairs and all the tables we got 12 6-seat tables, and most of them had at least 4 people in them.
There you go.
And then people were bringing chairs, but it was not crowded at all. Everybody had plenty of room and
Had a good time and drank some good beer and smoked some good cigars, and
Fucking A.
life seemed normal.
Speaking of cigars, how did you guys get partnered with Emerson's?
Emerson's used to have a place downtown where, I don't know if you know that.
Downtown
on,
Norfolk?
on Granby Street. Yeah.
On Granby? It's not there anymore, though, is it?
No. It's I think it's a restaurant or something now. I don't know. They were going to renovate it when the main was being built. It's right over where the main is almost, but it's on Granby Street.
Okay.
They pulled out all the humidors to do the renovation, and I guess there was a bunch of. They had a section that was down below grade, so they had a bunch of foundation problems.
Okay.
I mean, expensive to fix
Yeah.
foundation. And from what I understand from Scott, the landlord expected him to fix it, and it's like, that ain't my
Oh, no shit. He was like, oh, it's not happening.
Yeah, so there was like 2 years that there was no Emerson's in Norfolk. So I finally started thinking, what, I was going to put a humidor. I knew I was going to put a humidor in here, but originally I was just going to put a humidor against the wall.
Yeah, a little cabinet one.
Yeah, and so then I started thinking,
Thank you so
well,
much.
Emerson's may want to come back to Norfolk. He lives in Norfolk, Scott does. And
Thank you, sir. Yeah, appreciate you.
so I basically called up and asked who the owner was and then got his name and his number and called him and talked to him. We met over here. We looked around and said, this could work,
That's awesome. I love how you have this open space, for the cigars and everything like that, and it doesn't feel like it's private, but it's still open in the sense that it's there, but it's still that good separation between the rest of the.
And you have a very large walk-in humidor,
Yeah.
humidor room here. That's
unbelievable.
what? Do you know the dimensions off the top of your head?
It's like 15 by 30 or something like
That's
that.
a
huge.
big space.
Yeah.
For a
It's
cigar.
It's a big room. And I think he carries like 500 varieties of premium cigars.
Jesus.
I'm a Padron fan myself, which in my
Mm-hmm.
7,000 Maduro, I buy by the box. And actually, Scott bought me, I'd run out early this week, and I kept forgetting to call. And I was smoking these little things that he has out here that you buy in a 5-pack. I called yesterday, and well, we can't deliver till tomorrow. We don't, it's after 3. He's already left. And I was sitting here, and Scott calls me back, the owner, and says, "Good brewery?" I said, "Sure." He said, "I'm bringing your cigars to you." I appreciate it greatly.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's a hell of a
That's
relationship for it to be
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go out of my way for you. That's pretty awesome.
So anyway.
So Rick, do you guys have any big events coming up that you want to talk about, or are you just kind of playing it by ear right now with everything going on, and just because I know your son says you have a social media team that promotes through social media. So we know, we put up here that, you guys are on Facebook and Instagram and everything.
Billy, I'm going to be right back. Right?
Yeah. So do you have any stuff that sticks out that you want to talk about that's coming up, or
Well, I mean,
just come in and drink?
Well, we're trying to put something pretty big together for 4th of July. I think we got a big jazz band and that kind of thing coming in. I think they're called Ultimate Flavor.
Okay. Hey.
And
Jazz music, love jazz
we'll
music.
probably have a couple of smaller groups around that, so it makes it a full day thing. It's been tough because even when we opened 2 weeks ago, we only had a week's notice,
Yeah, so you feel like you almost have to scramble to get everything ready and
Yeah.
to promote,
and
let everyone know, and
try
get
to
that
get
out
a
there. And
band and try to get food trucks again, because the food trucks, they
have they
obviously,
taken a hit like that too, or
well, not so,
that almost seems like they probably would
they've
do
been
better.
parking in neighborhoods and stuff, and doing that kind of thing. So I think they've taken a hit financially, but they're still operating. So.
We're still able to make some kind of at least
But
stay
a lot
afloat.
of them had commitments, prior commitments, We had,
Events and festivals and stuff like that.
well,
nature.
we had a Mexican food truck here last week, and it's actually the Mexican restaurant. God, I'm trying to remember the name. I'm getting old, forgetting.
That's all right.
But,
But that was all those
Right right over on Colonial Avenue, the Mexican restaurant there. I just happened to see their trailer one day.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they had a food truck trailer, whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
So, we couldn't find anything. And finally I said, and it occurred to me, I said, Greg, call this restaurant. I know the guys that run it. They've been
Yeah.
here for that. And we go there all the time. And sure enough, they had the trailer, but it was committed till 4:00 because they parked it down in front of the Norv on Colonial Avenue.
Yeah.
Said, but we do have this little taco cart we can put out there. So they bring the taco cart, and at 4:30 the truck shows up. So they
Hey, that's a win-win.
They have a full menu.
That's
so,
awesome.
So they've been here a couple times since. And it's like Mexican food. They have great Mexican food.
Now, do you guys have a full kitchen of your own, or?
No, we don't. The restaurant business is not a business. I
No, yeah,
want to be in.
that's tough. I grew up jobs in high school, growing up on Long Island in New York City. That was kind of, you either worked down at the harbor, down at the harbor front, or you worked in a restaurant, bussing tables, and you worked your way up through the restaurant, until you graduated high school. And that I remember, my father's an amazing cook. And we were, for years down, I was like, Pop, you got to open up a restaurant, open up a little Italian place down at the village. Everyone will come and get your food. But he was just like, no, I'm not doing it. He goes, it's not just cooking food. He goes, everything that goes into that, health inspectors, all the stuff that you have to get ready for that. I couldn't imagine the headache. So yeah, it's better to have the food trucks come in.
The health inspectors in Norfolk, the health inspector does the front of the house. And Virginia Beach doesn't. It's the agriculture department does the back of the house. The Virginia Beach agriculture department does the whole thing. Then you have the Virginia ABC, and then you have the TTP, which is
ABC's down in North Carolina too. They control everything because down in North Carolina we have the moonshine runners down there.
Western Virginia has their share of those.
Yeah.
Well, food trucks are nice because you're still supporting a small business at the same time.
Right.
And you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to worry about your inspections and your clearances and your paperwork and whatnot.
Yep,
They're just self-contained. It's on them to get the clearance to serve food out of there. And do you have to pay food trucks to be here, or so you just reserve them and then they make what they make.
It's a win-win because
It's
it generates business for them and it generates business for you at the same
It's a
time.
fantastic business.
So that's where that
model.
partnership comes in.
Yeah.
Partnership is that, 7:00, everybody don't bail out of here to go eat dinner.
Yeah, but
They stay here and have another beer and have dinner.
But if you have food truck here, you can sit down and you can stay here another hour and a half. And you guys usually, a lot of the food trucks you guys have are repeat offenders, right? 'Cause I know I've been here. There's a seafood place that comes a couple times. I've been here. They made like this really nice like lobster hoagie roll. It's fantastic. I know you're salivating just thinking about that. Huh?
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, as I usually say, I'm well fed.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with food. I blame my parents. It's all the pastas and the
You're not eating enough.
Growing up in New York, it was and my daughters find it funny, and I don't know if you guys did this, but Sunday was the day that my dad, that was his day, because he worked 2, 3, sometimes 4 jobs, while my mom raised the 5 of us, and Sundays was he'd get up at 6 in the morning and start making sauce, and then it was, if you're not in your seat at the dinner table by 4 o'clock, he goes, I'll see you at breakfast in the morning. Because that was his time.
Yeah.
That was his time. That was his time to sit down and talk to everybody and how was your week and everything like that. So it's funny, I do that with my kids now. And my daughters growing up, because they've grown up in North Carolina and they don't have that type of culture down there.
Right.
You know, so they tell their friends, they're like, "What do you mean you have to be home Sunday for like you have to be home for dinner?" Oh yeah, my dad will get that.
Yeah, I did the same thing in the 90s. Like you came in when the streetlights came on,
Yep.
and you ate dinner at the time it was to eat dinner. And
Kids
my
don't grow up
dad,
like that.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what the fuck he was going through in the 90s, but I remember like we used to eat, and then like the point of eating is to fucking eat, and then you're done. And maybe in the Italian families it's a little different. It's more social and that. But
Yeah,
for
it's a
us, it
little
was
more
like
social.
we never like it was
Little?
it was never like a big thing for us. But I remember one time my dad was losing his fucking mind. He's like, "You're gonna chew that steak 23 times per bite." I'm like, what the fuck is that gonna do? I'm sitting here like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my
Well,
god.
my grandparents were
He's like,
alive.
"You're finishing your dinner too fast." God fucking forbid I eat my dinner and get the fuck away from you.
Yeah, my dad eats.
You were at
You should go and buy better steak.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. That's
Like,
right.
Dad, you're acting through the Navy. You spend all fucking day with kids. Why would you want to come home and be with your own? Like, just fucking let us leave. You can hang out with our mom for a little bit and enjoy yourself. Oh man.
No, it was funny growing up in that culture. And it's funny, like my kids now, they like we drive back up to New York for the holidays and stuff, you know, because I don't get to see my mom, and I'm the only one out of the 5 that doesn't live within earshot of my family. I'm the black sheep, you know.
So,
God forbid
I
you
think
go up
you're
in an
like Sarah.
Italian household and you don't live next to mom, like.
Sound like my dad. He
Yes.
joined the Navy and left, and he was the only one of his
Oh, it's,
6 or 8 brothers and sisters. My grandpa outlived 3 wives. So,
You-
yeah.
but yeah, so it's just funny. It's my daughters tell their friends, you know, "Oh, I love going to Nona and Pop Pop's house because Pop Pop's cooks so much food." I was like, I literally come home. My father sometimes has a styrofoam cooler packed with food. He's like, "Just take it back. I don't have enough room in the fridge.
Yeah,
Just
get that
take it
shit
back
out of here, yeah.
take it back to North Carolina." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I'm not gonna say no.
Twist my arm.
Yeah, you put a gallon of sauce in there. Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
I'll
like,
take
it's
it.
just like when you were in the Navy, you used to go to the Phil Am Club parties.
Oh yeah.
And they have you like a to-go plate, and like, "Here, have this lumpia." Like, this doesn't all fit. Like, "Oh, we'll give you a 4th tray. Don't even worry about it. Just take it home and get it out of here."
So Rick, with all the beers that you guys produce in house, how from so your brewmaster is that who's your brewmaster,
Michelle Lowney.
and how did you develop that relationship?
That's kind of a
Because we were
funny
talking.
little story. I mean, we'd run an ad in ProBrewer.com, which obviously is a something
Specific to that, yeah.
to the brewery industry, the microbrewery industry, whatever, craft brewery industry. And she was living in New York with her mother. She'd been trying for 2 years to get a brewery open, and of course,
In New
she had
York,
no
it's-
business experience. So, but although she had 25 years of brewing experience, and she brewed in Colorado, and God, she even brewed in Belgium and Scotland, in Canada and Maine.
Wow.
So she
Belgium.
brewed all over.
So she brewed in Belgium.
Yeah.
Wow,
pretty
that's
dope.
pretty serious.
Yeah, so she'd also has been a judge at the Great American Beer Festival for like 15 or 20 years.
Wow,
And the World Beer Cup like 5 times, and you know.
that's impressive.
Yeah,
That's
so-
very impressive.
Anyway, I'd run this ad, and she responded to the ad, and I just bought some of my equipment at an auction up in north of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Rick! I'm sorry. Can you switch over?
Let's see. Oh look,
They fucking went off. They fucking did it today.
Space
Got it done,
The
huh?
fucking SpaceX launch. Look at that.
SpaceX launched the first man.
First man mission in a while, man. It's
actually-
been up there.
it's
9
actually-
years, I think, it's been since we sent.
Well, it's a big deal because it's the first ever privatized.
Yeah, they're
Manned
at
space flight.
1,800 what is it, kilometers an hour. They're fucking at 20, 21, 20, what was that, miles? I don't even know.
So, yeah, that's a big deal because that goes back to they were talking about this is just as big as when we launched initially, you know, the first flight because this is Elon Musk from Tesla. So
We tried to do this on Thursday, but obviously they were canceled. They didn't. So
So sorry about that, Rick. So back
No big deal.
to that.
So you met this woman who'd been brewing in a bunch of places that have high respectable brewery production. she judged at a couple of places before as well, correct?
Yeah, she's been a judge at the Great American Beer Festival, of course, in the World Beer Cup. So, and, brewing for 25 years. And she went to this fancy school up north somewhere, the brewing school. I forget the name of all these places.
Yeah.
But so anyway, she lived like half hour, 45 minutes from where I was going and to pick up this equipment I bought her at auction.
Yeah.
So she came down and we had lunch and chatted a little bit. Kind of hit it off a little bit. She came down after that for a weekend, stayed at my house and saw the town and all, because at that point she
And just
never
liked
been
it.
over. And she said, yeah, I think this might work out. I
Nice.
said,
That's pretty
I think it
good.
might work out. And,
Now she's your brewmaster.
she's my brewmaster. She invested some money in the business, so she's a partial owner.
Oh, yeah, that's even
Oh, that's
better.
great.
It's just,
That's
she's like
great.
committed. She's not. It's not a
Yeah.
job for her. This is an investment.
So now is it just because I'm totally oblivious to how, besides it going from the glass into my gut.
You're real good at that. huh?
Yeah, I'm great at that part. Okay, I got that down to a science. I'm a master drinker. That's what I'll call it. But there really is a major science behind getting down that. Now, does she have a team or is it just her? Because it's all in house, right?
It's all in-house. Yes and no. I mean, my guys out front both are part-time in the brew house as well. Obviously, during the virus, we haven't had to brew near as much because none of the bars are none of the bars are open, so nobody's buying. So obviously, we got into canning a lot more than we would have normally. I mean, we canned anyway. We started in
Yeah.
December, but which thank God.
Yeah. It's just coincidentally, it was a great. Yeah.
So, but we had to get a lot more beer canned because that's what's selling. I mean, Total Wine still selling our beer, and that's even in the PX and the NOB. So
Hell yeah.
There you go. So
Hell yeah.
everyone that's watching right now, all the vets and
Are you
Yeah.
Navy homies on lockdown? You go over to the Class 6 over there at the Exchange.
So anyway, our assistant brewer had already put in notice. Unfortunately, he was a captain. He had a captain's license in Old Dominion. Offered him a job to run their oceanographic boat. And of course, that was a dollar figure I couldn't
Hold
match.
the fuck up. Old Dominion has an oceanographic boat?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the wrong field of study.
he goes to ODU and he doesn't know this.
No, I'm shit. Like, you know what your field of study knows, and that's like about
Yeah.
it. They're like, oh, we want to keep you here. They got a whole boat. I'm gonna go work for him.
Well,
Fuck engineering.
The funny part for me, it wasn't funny at the time because the same week my salesman left me,
Oh, Jesus, hell.
and this kid was just sharp. His name was Trevor. He had a master's degree in international studies. And, kind of what are you doing here anyway?
Right.
Yeah.
But he'd gone to the recruiter, and Navy sent him right to OCS. Going from there to pilot school. Within a
Holy
year, he's
shit.
going to be a pilot. I said, shit.
Oh, rough.
Can I sign up for that?
Yeah, holy crap. I didn't know that was an option.
Rough life.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an option. Holy hell.
Yeah, and of course, I ain't competing with that. There wasn't no offer I could make that would keep him.
Yeah, right. You can send them home with all the free beer and cigars you want to. There's still no say no to that kind of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
I hear that for sure.
It's funny. My nephew who joined the Navy 3 or 4, 5 years ago. I don't know. He just became an ensign. They sent him to OCS.
oh, good for
He
him.
was-
That's promotions are
Smart
great.
kid,
Yeah, that's awesome.
just kept working his ass off, and he, finally took a test or whatever you do to get to go to OCS school.
Then show your degree and run 2 miles. I don't really know what the.
I don't know how he gets there either,
Yeah.
but he's now an ensign and he's deployed, and his wife just had a baby, and he hasn't seen it yet. Of course, that's Navy life.
Yeah, that's what
I'm not sure my dad was around when I was born, but
Well, I missed my second daughter's birth. I was stuck in Japan, and
I know more.
I came home. I
more
came
than
home
enough.
on leave because my oldest daughter wound up getting hurt, and then 2 months later, when I was back in Japan, 2 months later, my
Second daughter.
now ex-wife calls me up and goes, "You son of a bitch! You got me pregnant when you were home." So now I'm in Japan again, because I was there without my family. Because what happened was my oldest daughter, she wound up having to have surgery So they sent me home on a Red Cross message because she was only 15 months old, and they were worried about the anesthesia. The risk of her not waking up from it was higher because she was so young, but she had to have this surgery to remove these cysts in her arm that were messing with her arm. So it was funny in that time when I was home, my mother came down from New York. Her mother was there because I living with her family while I was gone for 2 years. And 2 months after I left from that, being there for my oldest daughter's surgery, you son of a bitch, I'm pregnant. Shit. So then she wound up, 9 months later or 7 months later going into labor, and I couldn't get the flight home quick enough, so I wound up missing it.
There were some, man. I've been on deployments where the command is like, our policy is you're not going home for the birth of your kid.
Yeah, I've had that too.
And it's just like, well, I'm in the reserve.
I don't think he'll be home for months.
Well, I'm in the reserve, so it's a little different. They're like, if you go home, it's not like we're getting our money back. After the deployment, you're not going back to the battalion and being on active duty. We only get you for this window, so no, we're not sending you home. And then sometimes we have conflicts with the people we work for. Their policy is you will go home for the birth, and then they have to argue with our battalion about like who's doing what, and then we manipulate where these people are at, and it becomes this whole web of like. Listen, if you're in the military in any form or another, it sucks because you never really know what's going on. But guess what? There's a reasonable mathematical formula you could use to knock somebody up, in which you could expect to be there. And if you don't utilize that, it's not exactly the military's fault.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry, that's part of the hardship.
If you just plan it out, you can be there for the birth of your kid. But if you're just
knock somebody,
you're just dipping and running.
Don't wear a condom and don't pull out a month before deployment. They're not any longer than 7 or 8 months anymore, so you'll be home in perfect time. And
well, it's like some of the deployments we went on. We were gone for I was in Japan, for that one specific.
Well, that was back in the good old days. That was back in the good old days when you could be
2
gone.
years.
Yeah, see,
2 years without my.
Now you can't. Now you could expect to be home 6 or 7 months after you left.
Yeah.
We won't do that long-term crap anymore. It's,
my first deployment, 14 months.
Ruins it for some of us,
That's just the way it was back then. It was a different.
Well, it was a different world. I'm not sure.
Different time,
absolutely
for sure.
different time.
Yeah.
Because I joined in
I
2000.
think I told you about my old man.
Yeah.
Being on the Carolina, and I know after Pearl Harbor, they said obviously he was in the Atlantic because he was in Guantanamo Bay when they had that boxing match that he was a middleweight. That's where my wife found this thing.
Yeah.
So evidently they sent him right through the canal or whatever to get over there to support the Pacific, which was kind of
however they needed to, he was going. Yeah.
And who knows when he got to come home,
Yeah, those were that whole generation, and it's sad that there's not very many of them left. My grandfather passed away when he served the same time frame World War II, and he passed away when I was 12. But now you're starting to see what was it, like one of the last soldiers that stormed the beaches during D-Day just passed away.
Yeah.
Or like there are only 13 survivors of the Arizona left anymore. And I think
so it's like it's really sad to see that generation that really is what crafted America into what it is now. That it was just my grandfather, just the work ethic that they had was inspirational and and contagious at the same time, because it's really showed you that if you bust your ass, good things will happen. No matter how long it takes, good things will happen.
No matter who's in your way or
some
anything.
of the things that happened back then were pretty amazing. Doing a troop carrying ship, building them once a month in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
A
unbelievable.
whole ship in a month.
Steel. This isn't wood.
Yeah.
These are steel ships.
Ships that carry a couple thousand soldiers.
And it's it really is unbelievable. And even to this day, I'm retired from the Navy. And even when I see a carrier to this day, I never revert back to being a little kid, because I'm still in awe that thousands and thousands of tons of metal just not moves, but just floats on the water, first off. And then turns into one of the baddest war-fighting ships this world will ever see.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it really is to see that. And back then, my grandmother used to tell us stories about how the women she said, we're the ones that kept this country running. We're the ones that were in the factories.
Oh, the waves.
Yeah. Helping put these things
Not just
together.
that, my mother worked in a tank factory, built tanks.
Yeah,
And
see?
it's so bad.
And she got all the shit duty because she was so small. She only weighed like 98 pounds. She was tiny.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
crazy.
see, that's
though,
really
like-
cool. It's like you go up to someone and be like, "Oh yeah, well, my mother knows how to sew. My mother built tanks."
Yeah, suck it, bitch. It's so crazy just the amount of effort that people, both in and not in the military, that they put into the war fighting effort. And then nowadays you feel like, oh, we have 2 officers learning how to rollerblade.
Oh yeah,
In their
we
late
talking about- we
20s.
had 2 people in here earlier before you and your son got here that were in here with rollerblades,
And
we were
yeah,
like,
they're
"I haven't
learning
seen
how
these
to
things since
rollerblade."
'97. Like, what
Yeah.
the hell is
These
that?
are
crap?
adults.
Like, we're learning how to rollerblade.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know,
you're like
like
35.
6 or 7.
Go home. Like,
Well, you hurt yourself, right?
Yeah, right?
They did buy beer and they did buy T-shirts. So,
And I think
they
they
did their
followed
job.
us on the podcast, so that is twice now they've heard us
Yeah.
talk shit about them. So
but no, yeah, that whole generation, it was really.
I need to find some new staff. I think or something. I don't know.
Yeah, what is going on? Some of them-
dialed in.
Greg,
what the fuck is going on?
Is Greg watching right now?
Damn it, Caleb. You have literally one job. Well, Rick, listen, we
I got a line
appreciate
out here.
you do have a line out there, don't you? You got like 10, 15, and you know, you got about 80 to 100 people outside, too.
It's
Yeah,
pretty good day.
that's
All in
pretty
all.
good, yeah.
Hopefully-
You started to ask me something about beer earlier, and we got off the track.
Oh yeah, no, I was. It was.
What were you asking?
No, I was actually asking. What's your strongest? This is my question.
What's the strongest ABV?
What's the strongest? Yeah, ABV that you have in house.
In house, it'd be the bourbon barrel. That's
Yeah,
not on tap.
On Patty's Porter up there, it's a 7.2.
Kate, can you help me up?
When I'm done.
Yeah, when you get there.
Oh, she did not give a shit that you're the owner. As far as she's concerned, you're a commoner.
I don't pay.
That's what money's made.
Going for the pan cut and tipping cut.
That was a very good answer,
That's
by
so
the way.
fucking funny.
But we got a double IPA coming out, and I don't know what the ABV is going to be on it. It's a murder hornet, we call it.
Fucking murder hornet.
That's just
Double
fantastic.
IPA.
You know what? If you're not grabbing on to what's going on in the world and capitalizing on it, you're not really an
the
American.
murder
Yeah.
hornet.
Yeah,
It is
murder hornet.
absolutely
Little
great.
murder hornet, double IPA. It's double dry hop.
Holy hell. That's going to be a
It's
good
going to
one.
be out next week, and I can't wait.
That's fucking awesome. I'll have to come up and pick some up.
You can get the picture, it won't hurt
Yeah,
you.
you're good. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
So we got that coming out. We just put up our
You-
bourbon barrel is our.
Is that a specialty or is it?
It's a
part-
Black Friday bourbon barrel, what we call it. It's an annual thing. This will be the second,
Okay.
but it's got to be in barrels at least 6 months.
Okay, that's where I was going
Nice,
with that.
So we
Yeah.
put it in about 2 weeks ago. So which was a little later than we wanted. Last year we did 8 months. But
So the long.
Kentucky was shut down. We couldn't get barrels.
Oh,
So you get all your
yeah.
barrels from
You age
Kentucky.
it, you age
Yeah.
it in Kentucky bourbon barrels?
Yeah.
Is that- Nice.
This year we got
Let me ask,
two Buffalo Trace barrels and 2 Four Roses barrels.
let me ask you, how
And then
much
we'll blend it all.
you pay for those
Nice.
barrels?
$140 a piece or something like
It's
that.
not too bad.
Doable is what I'm hearing.
We can afford it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Did I see that you guys threw a raspberry something in last night?
Oh yeah, the raspberry wheat we put in yesterday, and that's a 2-week brew. It'll be out 2 weeks.
And Greg was telling us you guys do the seltzer too.
Yeah, the seltzer we did 2 small batches of seltzer.
It did
Two
okay.
kegs. I think we'll run out of it this weekend, so we're doing
Oh, that's
That's not
good.
bad.
we're doing a full
Full batch?
batch.
Holy
10
shit.
barrels.
That's awesome.
That'd be 300.
That's really nice because like one of my ex girlfriends, she couldn't drink beer because of some sort of protein thing. Carrageenan is what it was. So she had to drink when we went out. She would drink seltzers or ciders because they don't have that carrageenan and protein in it and whatnot. But so it's nice. You guys have like 15, 16 beers. You also have ciders.
So
and
We don't have any cider.
You don't have any cider, but you
Seltzer.
have seltzer.
seltzer.
But then you have
soda.
sodas as well, right?
Yeah, we have the craft sodas we brew in house, make in house, I guess. Not
Yeah, this
brew,
black
but-
cherry. This is one I've been.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Oh, this is great. Right
And the
here.
root beer is great too.
I'm gonna try that after this. This is absolutely.
Ginger beer is not too bad. It just
But
depends on the
and
mood.
you mix some of them with the beer, right?
Yeah, we do rattlers. But we
The
did
Rattler, right?
a ginger lime rattler, which I'm trying to remember what beers is involved.
I think
it's,
what did he say?
I think it might be the Pils Ale and the.
Oh, that's right. Because I always
ginger beer.
drink the Pils Ale when I come in. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
favorite.
I think that's, now the black cherry shandy, I know is the Pils Ale and the black cherry. So it's like a 50-50 mix.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it makes it a nice summer drink because it's, half the ABV of what's on the board.
So I take it you're the one that's sampling these as they're getting created.
That's what I love to sample.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But the funny part is, until it ferments, it tastes like sweet tea, most of it.
Get the fuck out.
It's
Really?
Really?
See, I've never, like I said, I'm on it from when you go like this into the glass and then it goes like this. I'm not on the back end, so to me, this is all new. So it's great.
Well, see, what you're doing is basically taking your grains and you steep them basically in layman's terms. And you basically turn the starches into sugars.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the yeast.
So before it
eats.
actually, before it ferment, I guess I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll taste
So
like
the yeast, the more sugar involved, the
Right.
stronger the beer.
Oh, really? The more sugars.
The more sugars you
I
can
know that.
extract from
Okay,
your
cool.
grains, because yeast basically eats sugar and craps two things: alcohol and CO2. That's what it does.
Well, there you go.
Right,
There you
deal.
have it, folks.
And how many?
That's how beer is made.
You have 1,
That's
2,
the short
3, 4,
version.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 12 beers up there. How many beers?
There's more than that. We haven't
You have
updated this because
You have like 16 or something like that, right? Almost. How many beers do you can?
Probably right now 5 or 6, and we got 3 or 4 new ones. We're going to can the
Distribution.
We're going to can the Murder Hornet, of course. We're going to can
Murder
the.
Hornet's so
That
great.
is so great.
We're going to can the Razzie Wheat.
Okay.
Our wheat beers, we have basically 4 that we do seasonally. We do the Razzie Wheat in the basically summer, and then we had to do a lime. I forget what the hell that one is. Some kind of lime thing we do for the fall. Then in the winter we do the Dunkel, and then in the spring we do the the Belgian Wit.
Now, do you
Okay.
guys have growlers? Like, if I wanted to come in here and get a growler, do you guys
Yeah, we
offer
do
those?
growlers. Right now,
Nice.
because of the rules, we can't refill growlers.
So you have to
Because
buy a
of-
new growler.
because
every
of the
time.
health.
You have to buy a new growler every time. But what we have done is we've got out and bought some basically ball canning jars.
Oh, the mason jars. Hold on a
yeah,
second.
mason jars.
These ones.
Yeah. So this big one I think is $2.53, something like that for the glass.
What?
$3.
Not filled. That's for the glass.
Okay, so $3 for the glass, and how much is that? What is that? 500 milliliters?
That's 64 ounce. Same thing as a big
Same
growler.
thing as a growler. So
Yeah.
how much is to fill?
Same thing as a filled growler, which I don't.
Which
I
is-
don't even
You just
know.
don't know the price of it.
So-
But it's. I mean, that's why I always like buying growlers
That's,
because
dude, that's gonna be like
because it's not too
$14.
expensive.
That's gonna be like $14 for the
This is
glass.
great.
of the
Great.
fill.
This is great. This is a great idea, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
we
have to-
have that
We'll
one.
have to ask Caleb,
Then we have the 32 ouncer as well,
which is
smaller
probably
one.
half the price.
Yeah.
Plus or minus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's
that's
awesome.
something you can take home. It obviously, once you open it, you want to drink it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whereas
I
the
mean-
growlers is usually good for like 3 days or something like
If
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's, once you. if
Once you open it though, you drink it. You know, like
Yeah.
you pour yourself
Listen to
one-
Rick, okay?
Yeah.
Once you open the thing, put a nipple on it, and drink it like a baby bottle.
Well, you see me drink on the show, Billy. I had that metal straw, so like
I might go the second night. It depends on how much I drank out. If you drank 3/4 of it. and
Might as well
you-
just finish
and you
it off.
Close it up. There's so much oxygen in it now. It's not going to be as good the second night.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Suck it up, Buttercup, and finish
Suck it up. Finish the
it.
goddamn thing. and go to bed.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway.
So yeah, Rick, like I said, we're gonna do everything we can to push people coming through the door. This storm looks like it's freaking coming in. I'm so tired of these.
It is, man. There's some
Yeah,
nasty
well,
ass clouds over in
These
that
tropical
direction.
depression. I'm hopefully hurricane season isn't as bad as they're saying it is, but 2 tropical storms already is starting to
Our band canceled for the night because of it, because they were afraid to
You
bring
got-
out their 10 grand worth of
Yeah,
sound
yeah,
equipment.
makes
Which is
sense. It's probably a safe
completely
thing,
understandable.
Yeah, I understand, but you
Sucks,
still
but
hate it for a Saturday night. I'd like to have
Yeah.
some good tunes out.
Hopefully the weather, hopefully the weather clears up here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be able to capitalize on the outside audience.
Well, I'm hoping they just let us start bringing people in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck, it'd be so nice.
so when's the governor supposed to announce this again for you guys? When's it? Just
I
whenever?
think
Is it
it's-
kind
I
of just
think
every
it's-
day you're waiting?
No, I
Don't
think
get me started.
Yeah, we probably-
I don't, we don't know till he originally said 2 to 4 weeks. Well, 2 weeks was yesterday.
Yeah,
And, there was no intention of opening yesterday. So I'm hoping in Monday's press conference, you'll say next Friday we can start bringing folks
which
in.
would be about the 7th, right?
Yeah.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, which-
So,
which means the
again,
cigar place will be open.
it doesn't make any difference if the weather's good for me, but it does for the restaurants, and it certainly does for some of the other local breweries that don't have the outdoor space.
Right.
If the weather's nice, everybody goes outside anyway. We found
Sure.
that last year,
Yeah, when the fucking weather's nice, you want to hang out outside. You want to
Yeah.
get some of that vitamin D. You want to be out and you want to smoke your cigars, your cigarettes. You want to drink your beers out and get the sunlight. Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
if the weather's real threatening like this, as soon as who's going to go to a nice restaurant and order a $50 meal, take a
Get
chance of
rained
getting
on,
rained on?
Yeah, because like we can see,
No smart
like,
person at
it
least.
looks nice outside behind us, but literally over here it's like 10 shades darker and like it's rolling.
Yeah,
To
it's
the west, it looks like hell. To the east, it looks fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What are
So
you gonna do?
ridiculous.
But like I say, they need to get opens for the restaurants and for the.
No, and we totally understand. That's something we, on the our podcast we've been pushing too is it's really, we have friends that own businesses and we have friends that own nonprofit organizations that rely on donations and charity work to
You can't go.
Continue their
You can't
growth,
go visit
continue-
right now.
operations, and it's hard because people don't have the money to do it now, and it's
Yeah, that
it's
shut
just-
down my project out back too, the lack of money.
yeah, it's
We were putting in bathrooms and putting in another walk-in cooler and it just all,
you just gotta
once
slam
they shut us down, it's like, we can't make enough revenue to justify spending
this
$60,000 for bathrooms and.
Yeah,
walk-in
no,
coolers.
absolutely, and it's just those are as tough as those decisions are, they're to keep the doors open or decisions that need to be made sometimes, But it really is the going back to how that generation of World War II was. It really is, and how they moved with the times and adapted to what was going on in their world then. It's really amazing to see what we now are doing in the same sense. And so it's not a world war, but the whole entire world is affected by this,
Right.
As a whole, and
It's
it's,
a very,
really
it's a very different
amazing.
situation, but with a lot of the same intent from those involved.
Yeah, it's really amazing to see the businesses that on their creative end, switch their normal business plan up to keep money coming in the door, or at least offer services maybe they thought they weren't going to ever get into and now are. So it's hopefully that growth continues nationwide, and I hope, you guys obviously, the whole time we've been here, there's people coming in and out. So I'm glad to see that you guys have that, and hopefully it transcends to the other local businesses in the area as well, and like you said, the restaurants.
So Rick, Bill and I can't thank you enough for letting us come out here and sit up
Yeah,
here.
Rick, this is absolutely.
This is Billy's first time here, but you and I literally met sitting right here at the
Yep.
bar.
We did.
And it's been fantastic. I loved coming out here, reading my book, and getting away. I love that you guys are back open again because now I can get my favorite beer in the area.
Yeah, this place is amazing. We've had a couple of comments too on here, Rick. Justin, Full Makers is a top brewery in Hampton Roads. So you got the local.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you got the local
Yeah.
guys on.
Justin's the president of the Student Veterans Association at Old Dominion, and they come out here for drinks and cigars. And we just partnered with them. We were telling your son and Greg earlier. So they're going to be on once a month talking about the veteran benefits they can receive and whatnot, the updates. So we're talking about doing stuff live in the ODU Student Veterans Lounge, and we're hoping to incorporate.
What I'll be
Makers
doing,
a lot
I'm going
more.
to come get a growler before we do that. I've been
Absolutely,
sitting
yeah.
Right there, or there are a lot of
And we
people.
just Personally, I'm really glad you guys are open because like I said, I did my quarantine out of necessity because there was nowhere to go. And the first day, as soon as I saw that you guys were like, hey, this is what we're doing, I was like, thank God. Holy hell. Like I remember I was here the first day you guys were open, and I just sat outside, and Guinness was out there like just like breathing heavily. And I was like, you know what, man, you're gonna have to deal because I need to get out of the house. You hate being there. This is so much nicer than anything we've done before. We cannot thank you enough for allowing us to come out here and talk to you and your staff and your son about
Well, y'all are welcome anytime.
Well, we appreciate
enjoy
that,
doing it. You guys are always, well, I just met you. but I've always enjoyed chatting with you when we had a few chats at the bar here, so, and having a stogie and a beer.
It's so funny because when I first saw him here, I thought like, oh, this is just some old crony who came. And then it wasn't until one of the other bartenders was like, oh no, that's the owner. I was like, I mean, it makes a lot more sense, but I definitely referred to him as a crony when I was talking about him.
I am kind of an old crony, but yeah. The other old crony that owns the place, I guess.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Rick. We appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So yeah, thank you, Rick.
Thanks very much.
Very, very much.
All right.
So everyone, we just want to say thank you for watching. We're going to wrap it up here. Join us as normal on Mondays and Thursdays at 8:30 Eastern time.
I understand.
And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to reach out or on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or also our email at libertyriskpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for setting this up.
Absolutely.
Thank you for Pod Decks. We will see you guys on Monday.
Take it easy, guys.